Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship Roundtable. And we got another debate review, this time witted against the Professor Self-Projection Dave. And I think we'll continue to use that self-projection counter that we had. It just seems like all these guys, they just can't help. They cannot help themselves. Why is it doing that? Sorry, guys. It is on the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Perfect. They just can't help from self-projecting. They literally do it over and over. They say, you don't understand this thing, when they don't even understand what Austin is saying most of the time. And now, okay. A lot of us, can hear some of the things that Austin says and be like, wait, what exactly did he say? And we got to go back and, Google those words sometimes. But anyone could do that, right? But what my point is typically his opponents will say, oh, you don't even understand this, and they don't understand the actual question or comment that he made. So, of course, we'll see that. But let's say hello to everyone real quick before we get in. And then we'll get into the debate review. So welcome, Kyle. Good to see you, brother. Are you excited to talk about this review? Oh, I don't have you audio. I don't have your audio. All right, he's gonna drop off real quick and come back in. Looks like we're having some grabbling going on. Yes, I totally don't understand how smart Dave is. He's so much smarter than anyone can ever imagine. That he speaks, because he speaks so dumb. That's how you know he's a real genius.
We have audio. Oh yeah, we do.
Yep.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, we got Kyle again. Oh, then
Yeah,
you're.
so
Yeah.
speaking of grabblers, was watching a truther video, right? And YouTube buffered him every 30 seconds. He was talking about all the different creations that God had made in this realm. Dude, they were grabbling him so hard.
Yeah.
Buffering like every minute, every 30 seconds.
Oh, dude, you've been on this stream when they've done that numerous of times, right? So we know they do it. It's nothing, it's nothing new. But anyways, we got you now, Kyle. Welcome, brother. You excited to talk about to have this review?
Yeah, I am excited. Dave's an interesting guy, so yeah, like to narrow him down where he thinks everyone's a liar and he is the arbiter of truth. You
Yeah.
know, kind of
It, it,
pin
it,
him on that.
I think interesting is an interesting word to use. uh, well, sweet. Welcome, brother. I know this is going to be fun. We're going to get some laughs in for sure. We got our brother Frankie B with us too. Welcome, brother. How you doing?
Shalom, everyone. Oh, Shabbat Shalom now on Saturday. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. The last one was really fun, so this should be good. We're just commentaries. That's all we are. We're just outside commentary.
Yes, and comedy trope. I'm sure. All right.
It's a version of, what was the name of that? What was the name of that movie thing? They was on Comedy Central when they would watch the two robots and watch the movies. What was that called? Vader?
I don't remember, but I got to close some stuff out.
Science fiction theater. This is our version of science fiction theater.
That's funny that it was called that, because that's
Yeah,
very
that's what
much
it's called.
that's very much what we've received in this modern era. Okay, let me. Is it gonna let? Okay, I gotta drop this real quick, everybody. Thank you for your patience, cause I'm. Oh, see, why does it always do that? Okay.
Shout out to Derek's the only one in here now. Got two thumbs up.
Got my beautiful wife in here as well.
Got
And Kyle and I'm in there too, so Okay, let's see here. Okay, I think I got this fixed. Let me bring this back. Do share screen from here. It always does this, and it doesn't really make sense in my head why it does it, but I fixed it. Okay, let me pull this back. Oh, hi, the Quarterling. Welcome to our Discord. Before you get started, brother, I just wanted to say really quickly. It's total being grappled right now. Dude, Atlanta. Is it still? I'm gone. I see Kyle moving just fine.
We see you.
Okay, there we go. You saw me just a second ago?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Thought so.
Because mine was frozen.
I was also fixing my microphone. So.
Oh. Okay, sweet. Anyways, hi, the Quarterling. Welcome to joining our Discord. I know y'all are about to have a debate, and we're going to review it, and we have special powers to pause the debate and make fun of y'all before we continue. But I know I have predictive powers, and I know somehow that you will interject on behalf of the globe numerous times throughout this debate. But I'm not going to have a counter for that. But I want everybody to pay attention right here. Do you see what's right here in this image? Or not this image. Do you see what he got right here? Can you see
it?
Can you see my mouse?
Nope, I don't see a mouse.
Oh, you don't see my mouse hovering over on the share screen?
Nope. Let me look on the video and see if you're doing circles. Okay, I see it on the video. Yeah, let me go look
Oh,
back
okay. Okay, so right here. So
sphere.
Quarterling, what is that?
a-
If you watch it, it's actually a little thing of the moon. But something's going to happen to that later on. We'll talk about that, though. So without further ado, let's get into this. We can go ahead and just drop our... or no, I have this downloaded, so this should be fine for cams. So sweet. All right, let's get chugging. Oh, wrong button. Wrong side.
We're going to talk a little flat Earth today, a topic that I knew nothing about until today. And now I know more than I ever wanted to know about it. I will let people know that, you know, I don't have strong opinions about it. It's interesting to me. I have my, oh, there we go. There's Austin. Sorry, guys. So I'm just gonna, so the way we're gonna do this is both gentlemen have asked so they can have like kind of 7-minute run uninterrupted where they can talk, which I'm going to allow. I guess we'll start with Dave since he was the first one in here, and then Austin. 7 minutes. Then I'll come back in and we'll kind of freeform it. I've got a big list of topics that I sent to both guys. Seems like both of them have addressed these things many times. But the purpose of this, for me, is to be, I'm sure for these two gentlemen, perhaps different than me, but my biggest goal is for it to be entertaining and to be educational and fun. And I'm sure these guys will be very nice and polite and well-mannered because they just look like two very kind gentlemen. So I'm going to bring them in, and then we'll start with first Dave. You may know him as Professor Dave Explains. He's linked. All of his channels are linked. He's on YouTube. He should also be on Rumble because, you know, reasons. Dave, welcome. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for being here. And then we've got Austin. You might know him as Witsit on Twitter. He's got a YouTube channel. I assume, I don't know. You should have a Rumble channel too, but their YouTube channels are both linked in the description below. I recommend you hear them both out. And I guess we're going to talk about flat Earth, and we're going to start the clock at the 7-minute mark for Dave, if you're ready.
Sure. Yeah. Just present here. I don't.
That on the bottom.
Oh, share screen, right?
Yep. If I can actually drop out too if we need more room on the screen, you know. Yep, there's that.
Can we
Now
see the slides?
Yep,
you got it all?
Yep. Okay, so ready? I'm gonna shut up. I mean, I'll keep it to. So I got 4:37 now on my clock. So at
cool.
Well, just flip to 4:38. So go ahead.
Okay. So we're here to talk about flat Earth versus globe Earth. Austin is going to pretend to defend the flat Earth. He will do so with 2 tactics, which I will undermine right now. First, he will pretend that the default position is that it's just totally flat. Just observe and see how flat it is. So the burden of proof is on the globies to prove it.
That on the bottom 7 now on my clock. So at
cool.
Sorry, I had to
just
play this back.
4:38. So go ahead.
Okay. So we're here to talk about flat Earth versus globe Earth. Austin is going to pretend to defend the flat Earth. He will do so with 2 tactics, which I will undermine right now.
I will undermine right now.
That's literally what I hear. He's like rubbing his hands. This is what I'm going to undermine.
I will defeat you with science.
Listen to my supreme intellect. I will destroy your dumb ideas. All right, let's keep going.
First, he will pretend that the default position is that it's just totally flat. Just observe and see how flat it is. So the burden of proof is on the globies to prove it is a globe.
It is
false. All of observations since antiquity have only make sense on a spherical Earth. Looking at the sun, moon, stars. Only makes sense on a sphere. That's how we've known the Earth is a sphere for 25 years.
Oh, we've known for so long.
If you deny a globe, most things don't make any sense. Day, night, seasons, weather, tides.
Appeal.
Phenomena like volcanoes, earthquakes, technology, communications, simple things like line of sight increasing with altitude, terrestrial motion, gravity. None of it makes sense if you deny that the Earth is a globe. Speaking of gravity in particular, I know that Austin will be very eager to talk about his electric gravity bullshit. Here are some reasons why that is stupid. He cannot derive 9.81 meters per second squared. He cannot explain why this value is based on Earth's mass. He cannot explain why G varies precisely with Earth's radius and your altitude. Despite electromagnetism being both attractive and repulsive, he cannot make anything significantly massive fall up. And no, his little middle school science project with a piece of styrofoam doesn't count. He cannot explain why there's no discrepancy in the motion of objects with differing properties, paramagnetic, diamagnetic, ferromagnetic. Cannot explain why there's no difference in activity over differing substances of different conductivities, grass, sand, water, concrete. He cannot explain why things fall at the same rate regardless of elevation. His electrostatic field dissipates with elevation until it disappears, yet things still fall. So, Austin, this is the default position. This is the position that correlates with all observations and every nook and cranny of our knowledge about the physical world. If you would like to make a case for the contrary, feel free to do so and make sure to bring quantitative predictions. The second tactic he will use is because he knows the flat Earth is so unbelievably indefensible, he will try to obfuscate by turning it into a discussion of geocentrism versus heliocentrism. He does this because he relies on using word salad about esoteric topics in modern physics, like relativity and certain experiments from the 19th and 20th centuries. Unfortunately, though, for him, geocentrism utilizes a spherical Earth. That's right, the Ptolemaic geocentric model that was used from antiquity until Copernicus uses a spherical Earth. So if he would like to change the topic of the debate completely from flat Earth versus round Earth to geocentrism versus heliocentrism, I'm willing to entertain that if he first admits that the Earth is a sphere. And he has to mean it. If he is unable to make that concession, I will continually drag him back to very simple, naked eye observations and basic logic that prove the Earth is a sphere without any understanding of physics whatsoever. Number one, the observations of the stars. In the northern hemisphere, the stars rotate counterclockwise. In the southern hemisphere, they rotate clockwise. This makes absolutely no sense on the pizza land. Why would the sky be rotating in opposite directions, just depending on where you're standing? Also, why can't we all see the same stars? If you have a line of sight to a star, you should be able to see it. Both of these make perfect sense. On a rotating sphere, you have 2 celestial poles, and the Earth is rotating, and then we can't see through the Earth. That's why you can't see certain stars. So in the north, can't see Southern Cross. In the south, can't see Polaris. Speaking of the Southern Cross, in order to get the pizza land, he has to take the point that is the South Pole and unwrap it to get the perimeter of the pizza. And that results in
What was that, Kyle? Wow, my camera just shut off by itself. What was that, Kyle?
I was wondering. Oh, I was just saying, he's like, you can't see those stars because, you'd be looking through the Earth, and it's like, well, what is that refraction that we see? The Polaris, 23.4 degrees south latitudes. Are we seeing through the Earth there, or is that just refraction around the Earth?
And why are we seeing similar stars in winter as we are in summer? Why is that? Like, I thought we were on the opposite side of looking at the different side of the galaxy.
Right. He was really, really precise when he was talking about the different variations of magnetic fields and how they're classified. It's interesting he never takes that logic and applies it to the core of the Earth, and how a molten core would have no magnetic properties. You can't heat anything magnetic and retain those magnetic properties.
Yeah.
So it's
It's so preposterous. And one thing I want to say is, you saw in his a little bit before in his this is such in his opening, sorry, he was just saying he can't provide any evidence. He has no answer for this. He has no answer for this. He's literally doing that because Austin has answers for every single thing that he mentioned. And he mentioned mass, right, is a contributor to the gravitational, the 9.81, meters per second. Yeah, agreed upon, rate of fall. Yet mass attracting mass is hundreds of years old. They do not believe that you would have to get to the galaxy level for that, for many physicians.
And even
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, even then, at that point, they're like, well, there's not even enough mass in those galaxies to even account for all the movement of the bodies in the galaxy rotating around the galactic center. So they're like, oh, it's dark matter,
Yep. They're only off 97%, guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Wild.
Let's keep checking.
Total absurdities like these three people all looking at the Southern Cross at the same time, despite looking at completely different directions. That makes no sense at all. Again, on a sphere makes perfect sense where south actually means something, and they're all looking at the South Pole. Number 2, day and night and regions of illumination. This is very bad for the Flurfies because in the winter months, they need to take the sun all the way out to the periphery of the disk, and that would result in most of the pizza being dark everywhere most of the time. Of course, in reality, the opposite is true. The edge of Antarctica in these winter months is illuminated almost all the time. So how does the light get all the way over there? And then you don't even have to go all the way to Antarctica. You can go to Ushuaia, which is at the tip of South America, where people live, and that must be illuminated around 70% of the trajectory, while places like Point Barrow, Alaska, experience 24-hour night. In order to try to explain this, they have to make light do things that it doesn't do, and in fact, flat earthers do not ever try to explain this at all. It gets even worse if you go all the way to the South Pole. There is a 24-hour sun there, which completely obliterates the flat Earth, as flat earthers themselves admit. And that is why a rich person lately has been offering fully paid trips to the South Pole so that flat earthers can see the 24-hour sun, and they are all busy crapping their pants trying to make excuses to not go. Once again, on a globe Earth, this makes perfect sense. Day is when you're facing the sun. Night is when you're facing away. Pretty simple. Number 3, Southern Hemisphere causes trouble. For years, flat earthers have been pretending that there are no direct flights in the Southern Hemisphere. This is wrong. There are many. Sydney to Santiago is one of them. And this goes both ways, nonstop, in both directions over the Pacific Ocean. And then we have the Antarctica Cup Ocean Race, which is a boat race that circumnavigates Antarctica. They go all the way around every year. And neither of these things make an ounce of sense on a flat Earth. You would have to have for the flight, the Sydney to Santiago takes this incredibly enormous arced path instead of going the straight line path, and neither of which could be done in 12 hours anyway. And then the boat race would have to go around the entire world, always steering away from Antarctica instead of towards it, which it doesn't do. So all of these observations are very extremely basic, intuitive ways to prove that the Earth isn't flat. Okay, these all obliterate the flat Earth. They prove without a doubt that the Earth is a sphere. Every single one of them does this. Austin is unable to discuss any of these topics. He has no ability to explain any of these observations on a flat Earth, and so he will desperately try to pivot and turn this into a debate about geocentrism versus heliocentrism. Unfortunately, that's not the topic of the debate. If he wants to have that debate, that's totally fine. He must simply concede this debate that we're having now, admit that the Earth is a sphere, and then we can talk about that completely separate other topic about whether the spherical Earth moves or not. All yours, Austin.
Perfect. Hey, let me perhaps I should have defined, Austin, I'll give you an extra 60.
What were you saying there? Sorry, I
was just saying, why is he so adamant about him, like, during the debate, like, you must admit it's a sphere. Nobody's going back to the sphere, bro. Like, you obviously don't know any of us. We all came from the belief that, you hold. No one's going back. I don't know what this guy thinks.
Yeah, no, he thinks he's going to be some new, they all think that they're going to be the special boy who really owns the flurfers so much that they are so embarrassed that they have to give up the truth and go back to the lie.
That give up the fact that I personally see too far. Am I supposed to give up that? Because all that stuff is sure fine. That's like looking at the ceiling to determine the floor again.
Kyle, don't you understand, bro? You're just dumb. He's smart, and sorry that you're dumb and you don't understand. Obviously, bro.
That's Professor Dave.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're really low though, brother.
Yeah, he said we're crapping our pants because we can't go to the Antarctica. The Antarctic tour is only a certain part of it, and you can't see the whole thing.
And it's at the 80. It's at 80 parallel. It's not at the 60th. It's not past the 60th parallel.
Yeah,
he's so arrogant.
Isn't it kind of interesting that Dave, who is obviously an atheist, self-professed, is really kind of pushing this stuff with Duffy and McToon? It's almost like they've kind of worked together for this.
Well, no, it makes me wonder, like, McToon, I don't remember him ever professing any sort of faith or belief or anything. That just seems to come out of nowhere, because I know for certain he's sure as heck didn't act like it. His fruits definitely did not demonstrate anything that the fruits of the spirit would. So everything that he ever spoke about was basically just trying to prove the heliocentric model under an evolutionary paradigm. I've never heard anything different until recently.
Yeah, I've actually heard before when he's debated Witsit that he is a Christian. But as you saw, for those who, that wasn't a debate review. Frankie B, did you see the little comedy bit that I did about McToon?
I didn't see that yet.
Well, maybe I won't show it right now, but Yeah, well, check it out. But oh, Kyle, remind me, brother, when you want to share that, we can share that if there's a good point to do so.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see how far we get. I'll try to remind you.
Okay. Yeah, if there is like a specific part, or is it about all of it?
No, it's a specific part. It's when they're talking about airplanes.
Okay, when we get to that, remind me, and we'll pause it, we'll share that, and then we'll keep trucking. All right, let's keep trucking.
Seconds, if that's okay with you, Dave, to define what flat Earth even is, or just because not everybody in my audience knows.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. But,
you think so? Should we just go right to the 7?
That the Earth is flat. That's
yeah. Okay. Just so everyone knows, but also that the Earth is at the center of the universe too, right? Is that one? Are those two things combined?
I mean, yeah, there is no universe if there's right. Okay, it doesn't matter. Go ahead. Whatever.
Okay. Well, no, that's fine. We'll just go right to the Dave's. Or I'm sorry.
Well, wait, what happened?
He just left.
He left?
Well, he might have just, maybe he'll come back. He might have clicked a button at
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe he accidentally closed the window.
He might have closed the window. Yeah, he might have been trying to add something.
He probably tried to swich tabs to go to a
Yeah. All right, there he is.
Something.
All right, I'll there you go. There you go.
My bad.
No, you're good. I was like, debate over? What? Okay, I'll shut up, and then so at 4:46 you have your 7.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't really make a PowerPoint, but I'll just use the classic one here if you can pop it up on screen for me. So yeah, it's our position is that the Earth is a geocentric stationary plane. This feeble attempt to separate the conversations is disingenuous. That the Earth is stationary, it's in the center of the universe. None of the kinematics or dynamics, even of geocentrism, is exclusive to sphericity. That is just a get out of jail card because he will not be able to defend the claim that we're moving around the sun. To very quickly go through some of this, falsification is independent of replacement. And so what always happens is people don't defend the globe. They just want to ask millions of questions to the flat earthers. And somehow if a flat earther doesn't know the answer, then all of a sudden the globe model becomes true. And then of course the burden of proof is the one making the positive claim. And then shifting the burden is making the other person prove why your claim isn't true. So if I read a book and say all these fairy tales exist, I don't have to prove that unicorns don't exist. Very simple concept that gets overlooked consistently in this debate. Oftentimes we get what's called a straw man fallacy. People say that this is what flat Earth is, and they point and laugh, and no one that I know thinks that it's a flat disk in a solar system. That's ridiculous. Hopefully we can prevent these, but these are the typical fallacies used. Of course, a straw man fallacy, which we just discussed, ad hom, attacking the person instead of the argument, credentials. Oh, you're not qualified to talk about this. Appeal to what everyone else thinks, appeal to authority, poisoning the well, begging the question, shifting the burden of proof. These are always used. Everyone was taught the Earth's a globe when they were young. That doesn't mean it's true. So let's just quickly go through the basic claims here. Claim 1 is that the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles. The second claim is that the Earth is spinning, tilted, wobbling, revolving around the sun, shooting through the galaxy. That's then shooting through space. That is a positive claim. And then the third one is that the Earth is in the vacuum of space. The heliocentric model has the burden of proof for these claims. So attempting to remove the burden and pretend that it's just automatically granted to you at the beginning is not how logic works whatsoever. And then one would say, wait, isn't saying the Earth is flat a positive claim? It is, of course. And so then we would have the burden of proof, and we have fulfilled that, right? Actually, this right here is a specular reflection. Any convexity or concavity of the water, if it was curving, you wouldn't be able to get a specular reflection because it will cause what's called a diffused reflection. If we move on here, we have actually verified the Earth is flat in many ways. Radio waves can be sent over 10,000 miles. Amateur records show that they're sent thousands of miles at all frequencies far beyond the geometric limitation of the globe. Here we have a distant mountains observed from 167 miles away at less than 1,000 feet. So the target hidden height should be almost or over 11,000 feet, but the mountain's only 12,000 feet. We should only be seeing roughly 1,000 feet of the mountain. Clearly, that's not the case. Here we have another one, 168 miles. Target hidden height is almost 12,000 feet, and the elevation is entirely 12,000 feet. So we should not see the entire mountain. This is a major problem because you're going to have a problem trying to invoke refraction here, and hopefully you do. This used to be the world record Longest distance line of sight, of course, that means you're a direct line of sight to what you're observing. The world record for the longest photo. Here we have a target hidden height of 16,000 feet, and the top of the tallest mountain is 12,000 feet, which means that the mountain should have been thousands of feet below the curvature. Here's another one, 271 miles. Again, the entire mountain should have been obstructed by over 3,000 extra feet. Here's another one, 250 miles. You get the idea. Over and over, the mountain should be obstructed, except for just roughly 800 feet here. Here's another one, 241 miles. The entire mountain, almost the entire mountain should be hidden. And then it goes on and on and on. Here is a very important observation everyone ducks away from. If you look in the top left here, you see you can't see the mountains. These are called Canigou Mountains. You cannot see the mountains. So when people say, can you see, will you be able to see forever if the earth was flat? That's a ridiculous straw man. Even within a globe paradigm, you'd have to admit you can't see forever because of something called attenuation. The light gets absorbed into the medium. We cannot see the mountains until the sun gets behind it. Due to the intensity of the light from the sun, you now get a silhouette, and we can see the Canigou Mountains. These should have been completely obstructed. You can buy a plane ticket right now for 2 specific days of the year, and you'll know that you'll see the mountains because of a silhouette based on where the sun sets. So I guess refraction is just colluding with the calendar and with the atmosphere to make the earth look flat over and over. Of course, as a silhouette, refraction affects light, not the absence of light. Here to address his straw man about the geocentrism thing, these are projected onto a plane. These are literally azimuthal projections. So to say that it requires sphericity is ridiculous. Here we see that all the paths of the planets fit right within a Ferrel cell magnet torus field. Okay, what a coincidence. And to address this misnomer that sunsets are impossible on a flat Earth and they just go behind the curve of the Earth, that is also not true. Here we see the sun disappearing above the horizon with a horizontal line blocking the bottom of it far above the horizon. This is proof that the sun can disappear up above the horizon due to atmospheric conditions. Of course, we have tons of assumptions when it comes to the military that the Earth is flat. Specular reflection, again, I'm going to kind of speed through these, but specular reflection, you see that just a small concavity or convexity in the water actually causes what's called a diffused reflection. You'll see here in the left. So you actually need a flat surface to have a specular reflection. We see these over long distances consistently. So we'll just skip over here. So, and then of course, the globe claims that the horizon is a physical, tangible surface, and it is not. It's literally a horizon that is apparent. That's why it is where the sky appears to meet the ground. So here we can get into some of the specifics here, but of course, also on a globe, the horizon should drop down and away from you as you increase altitude. What we see in reality is it rises with us, which is a major problem. So long story short, the entire globe model depends on the accuracy of the claimed radius value. And if that radius value is wrong, the entire model is wrong. So in closing, what I'm going to say is, again, falsifications independent of replacement. The literal default position is that the Earth is a stationary plane. The globe says, well, yeah, but it's so big it looks flat, and it's so big that based on the angular rate of motion, you can't tell that it's moving. Could that be true in theory? Sure, but that is a concession that the default position based on empirical evidence and observation is that the Earth is a stationary topographical plane, hence why we utilize it as such for all military technology, etc. Therefore, to make a claim that everything is antithetical to that, you objectively and logically have the burden of proof. And then we'll get into a lot of the things that he mischaracterized my arguments regarding throughout the debate, hopefully. But yep, there you go.
Okay, thank you for the opener. I want to give you both. What do you think? Like, I
trying to
there's
pause
one or two
it.
things that both of you have said or that strongly disagree with. Other.
Trying to pause it,
Do you
so
want
bear
me to
with
open
me.
it up to just give you both 5?
Okay, real quick, I just want to talk about Austin's opener there. I think that one was so well, and I think having the ability to have those slides and go through something from A to Z is super beneficiary. And from our last debate review with Austin in it, we, Sean and had some critiques, and I would, and a lot of people would agree that sometimes Austin can kind of go overboard with the vocabulary, the vernacular that he has, and kind of lose some of those maybe coming into it or even new into it. And so I think this way was way more concise, was way better delivery. And I like the aid of the PowerPoint to be able to show those slides and give something to your mind to see, to really conceptualize these ideas.
Otherwise, if you don't have any idea of what is being spoken about and you can't picture it, you can't conceptualize it whatsoever, yeah, you probably will think it's word salad because you don't know the definitions of the words, you don't understand how they're being applied, you can't put the sentence together until you understand all that. And it takes time, but it helps with the visuals. It at least helps because the human mind's pretty amazing. Whether or not you actually know how to apply the words, sometimes when you have a visual, you just naturally see what you see. It's not the illusion of the heliocentric paradigm. Don't trust your senses. It's what you see every day. Is the sun, going away from you and rolling as we're rolling backwards? It's like that song, the fool sees the sun going down on the hill or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
point
Beatles. The
is a lot
fool
better.
on the hill is sitting perfectly still, but the eyes in his head see that it. Yeah, yeah. I kind of butchered it there, but yeah, totally. It is really a fool's journey. Yeah. What's up, Frankie B?
Yeah,
Get closer though.
yeah, the presentation's a lot better. The visuals are good, and I think the moon is a dead giveaway. I mean, it's so close. Sometimes you can actually feel like you can actually reach out and touch it, and I think we should get more into that as a community because they say that the moon is millions of miles away. It's really not. Sometimes it's so low when I'm driving home from work. It it feels like you can reach out and touch it. You know what I mean? You're muted, Vader. You're muted.
Yeah, but sometimes it looks like it's nothing. Like where it seems like you can see things behind where the moon should actually be. So to me, it's like I even understand when people are like, no, I see it. It looks like a big rock. Like sometimes it does have
Yeah,
that. Oh, I do not know
you're
what is
breaking up a
going
little.
on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not doing anything crazy with the stream or anything. Here, let me try to do. I'm gonna try to drop some stuff. Oh, bro,
Am I really that low? Because they're saying that I'm quiet.
you're
Am I
very.
really that
You
low?
were.
Yes, you're
You're
very
okay.
quiet.
You're okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can turn this up.
Sorry, everyone. I am working on seeing if I can close some stuff because I am having. Not only am I having issues with Discord, but I'm having issues with Streamlabs too. And I don't even have the typical stuff that I have open, and it's just shutting some stuff
Check.
down.
Is that better?
You know what? I'm also gonna try really quickly. I'm actually gonna.
Yeah. Is that better? Am I louder?
Yes, so much better.
That's good, Frankie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm gonna actually shut this off and wait. What time? What time marker are we at? We're at 19:18.
I got it maxed out.
Okay. Let's drop this real quick. I'm gonna reopen it. Bear with me, everyone. I'm trying to get it so that we're not having these lagging issues. And okay, that's here. Let's grab this. Open it. Where's it gonna open it at? Okay.
What is going on, everybody?
Jump to 9.
Okay. I feel like it's pretty.
First, we have
How
Excuse
observable
me.
is that?
is geoscience on the left and statistical evidence.
Other.
Person is denied.
I assume there's one or two things of both.
Okay. Sweet. Let me pull that up for everyone now. Share screen. Okay, it's gonna give me issues. Okay, let me drop. Sorry, guys. Gotta do this. It's just lagging. I'm hoping that after I've closed all of this stuff, that it will get rid of that for me. Let's get rid of this for now. Okay. And here, we pull this up. Share screen. Nope, not that. Yeah, this one. Okay. Let's pop that out.
Perfect. Okay, and it looks like I am not lagging anymore, so hopefully that fixed it. But yeah, here, let's pull this up and we'll keep chugging along. We're barely through it, so let's get it, let's let it play for a bit.
I strongly disagree with, other. Do you want me to open it up to just give you both a 5-minute period for rebuttal?
No, I
Or
think
do you
we
just want to
can-
leave it open?
We can dig into it.
Okay. Why don't what was the first particular topic maybe that Dave you want to poke around?
Well, Austin is denying this idea. He's insisting that the default position is the flat plane, empirically, observably, everything observable. Okay, so explain the observations from antiquity that I told you. How are you getting the sky opposite directions depending on where you're standing? Let's start with there. How observable is that? How does that fit with your default?
This is what always happens. Instead of providing evidence that the surface is curving, you're saying, well, but if it's then how does this happen?
No curved surface. You said the default position, flat plane. I'm asking you on your flat plane, explain the observations of the celestial sphere. In the north, you get counterclockwise rotation. In the south, you get clockwise rotation. Explain that to me on your default flat plane. Explain it.
Yeah, so the counterclockwise and clockwise direction is super simple. It's based on looking different directions. Your better question is, why does it go around a singular point, is what you're trying to say.
No. I'm asking about the direction.
Just looking opposite directions would make them go the opposite directions. They all go east to west.
If you put a clock on your ceiling, which way can you face to make the hands go counterclockwise? Tell me which way you can face.
Not analogous. The stars drop.
It is though, because the hands on a clock
you don't
go
get it.
clockwise, right?
You don't get it. The stars drop due to perspective, so we're actually looking out towards them, not directly up.
Did you know that? Depends on your latitude, right? Depends on your latitude. If you're at the equator, they're going from horizon to horizon.
Wait, do you agree that if I was looking out and something was spinning one way and then I looked at it from the other direction, it'd look like it was spinning the opposite way?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Okay,
that's why you just said, if I put a clock on the ceiling, right, which way, I'm asking you, which way you just said, if something is spinning one way and you look a different way, it'll spin another way. So I'm asking you, put a clock on the ceiling. Which way can you face that'll make the hands appear to go counterclockwise?
You obviously don't comprehend what I'm saying, Dave.
I think you don't understand what I'm saying.
Do you agree that things will appear to drop due to perspective?
Why are you talking about perspective? I'm talking
because you don't understand it. So
you're trying to obfuscate.
No, I'm not. If the stars are above me on a plane and I look out, they're going to look like they're dropping down, which means I'm looking out at. You don't even understand basic stuff, dude.
Look at this. Hang on. Where's the camera? Which way is this turning? Which way is this going, buddy? Which way is this going?
I don't know. Which way is it going?
Yeah, which way is it turning?
Who cares?
What cares?
Why are you obfuscating away from what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about exactly what I'm talking about. Is this going clockwise or counterclockwise? Come on, just give me the answer, buddy. You can see it.
To be fair, the webcam is mirrored, so it might be.
It is.
I think so. So
I don't know, and I don't see what's the relevance.
I see it going counterclockwise.
Yeah, that's how
That's going counterclockwise, right? Just say it, Austin. Just say it.
It looks like that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we keep it turning.
Do you think I don't understand the concept?
No, I'm showing you, and I'm showing all the viewers. Look, which way is this going now?
We all get the concept.
It's going clockwise. So if you're standing up here and you look at the sky, you see it rotating counterclockwise. If you're down here, you see it rotating clockwise. So admit that this phenomenon makes perfect sense on a globe, and on a flat Earth it doesn't, which is why you're rambling about perspective and all these other things.
No, there was no rambling. You incessantly interrupted me explaining it because you know you can't actually allow me to say.
Change the subject.
Okay, let me.
I'm not.
Let me try this. If this is okay, can we start with? Because you guys are both super familiar with this. Let me toss out. So people can dip a toe. One of the biggest conversations that goes back and forth, both of you talked about this in your videos, is in a flat Earth. Dave's video points out that there are some issues where, for example, the sun is coming around, right? And we know, because we live here, that one area of the world is in perpetual light, the other's in perpetual dark. This would be non-congruent with a flat Earth. So what is the flat Earth position? Am I describing that fairly? Dave? I'm oversimplifying.
Sure. The flat Earth cannot explain the region. That was my second point. That it cannot explain the regions.
That's what I was
of
trying to
illumination.
remember. Yeah. Okay. So what
The
is
regions of what?
The regions of illumination, the parts of the Earth that are day or night at any given time.
Yeah,
You
but
have
I know
absolutely
you
zero
know
ability.
the answer. So I've
Yeah,
heard
that
the
Earth is
answer
zero.
given to you.
the viewers?
No,
don't
but Dave
know
knows
that.
the answer.
But
So,
there's
so
10,000 people
something
watching.
called
The
Don't
answer
know.
is that if you're facing the sun, it's day, and if you're not, it's night. That's the answer.
Dude, I'm gonna enlighten you, bro. If you don't allow the other person's point to be made, you didn't win anything. No matter how much coping's going on in the
waiting
chat.
for you to make a point. Go ahead.
Okay, it's called a coffee cup caustic. It's a literal physical effect that can be replicated. The light will actually bend around the rim of any type of containment. It can literally be demonstrated and shown to perfectly replicate the seasons, the perfect light distribution on a plain Earth. You're objectively wrong. You've had this presented to you, and now you're back here in front of people pretending you don't know what it is.
Who has presented this to me?
Dave
If you
Weiss
guys
did. I
could-
watched it.
No, Weiss floundered like a buffoon. That's why you guys all call him
No.
controlled opposition now. If you could demonstrate
No.
this, you'd all have videos demonstrating
Coffee.
this.
There are
showing you the
literally
model.
hundreds of them.
No.
Coffee cup
I'm not
caustic.
talking about, oh, shine it and, ooh, it kind of does a thing, sort of. I'm talking about show the precise regions of day and night over several month period, right? Have it exactly precisely align with where it is
It's
day or
literally
it's
been
night.
done multiple times,
Okay.
Dave.
So
Sounds
what
like
is
an
the-
empty claim to me because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have.
So okay, hold on. So Austin, give him a second to explain his side. So you're saying the what most people see is that the daylight is predictable. And daylight, nightlight is predictable based on what is believed that the orbit, the current belief about the Earth's orbit. In a flat
Rotation.
Earth, yeah, the rotation, yeah. In a flat Earth, just let him finish. Dave, you get 2 minutes. Can you
I'm
describe?
not talking. Oh, me? What?
No, sorry. I'm gonna shoot it back to you for 2 minutes, but
Oh,
give
sure.
Austin 2 minutes to describe what he's talking. Because I just want you guys to remember, like, the audience doesn't know what coffee cup, whatever it is, right?
Right,
So
'cause it
remember,
doesn't mean anything.
okay, but remember, you're talking to like normies.
Sure. Okay,
So that's what I'm asking. So Austin, you have 2 minutes. Describe.
Okay.
We talked about how the sunlight stuff goes on. So 2 minutes, and then Dave, you get 2 minutes.
Okay. So if you type in coffee cup caustic, which I will literally look, I'll share the screen. And Dave has been shown this.
I actually think that's a really good point to just stop and talk about. Is if you don't understand something that Austin is saying, and you go look it up, you will understand what he is saying, and it is very beneficial to do so. He puts a lot of words together, and they like to call it word salad. But word salad is incoherent babble, right? Words that have no affiliation with each other.
Exactly. They don't have. You can't even put. It's like strawberry grass. Pants bed. It's like putting a whole bunch of just random stuff together and trying to make a sentence. But that's actually not the context of anything he says. There's, it's actually well put together. Every sentence he said so far.
Yeah, and when he's saying, hey, go look up what I'm saying and you will see tons of proof of what I'm talking about, of course, Dave just, flies right over that because he can't talk about it.
Yep, exactly.
In his debate.
Stay on point, though. Stay on point.
Oh, okay. I am.
Answer my question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just Google coffee cup caustic. If I have a coffee cup, if I took the lid off of my coffee cup and then light was shining in from the window, what will happen because of the rim is the light will hit inside the coffee cup and wrap around the entire rim. I can take this little flat earth model right here and do it live. I'd have to cut all the lights off, and since the windows are open, I can't. So it's very simple to explain it. There you go. It wraps around. Now, if you apply this to a flat earth, you will be able to perfectly replicate the distribution of light that gives us day and night, depending on the proximity of the source of light. It's easily done. Everyone knows that, and you can look it up. If you're new to that, that's fine, but just look it up, right? And the way that we determine sunset time is with the equation of time, which uses the apparent sun. It uses the mean of the apparent sun. So we don't even use the globe model and a physical location of the sun to determine sunset time or day and night distribution. In the real world, we use the equation of time. So you can replicate this on a flat Earth. It goes in the globe Earth and flat Earth basket. It isn't exclusive to either one.
Now, how does this, and I'm going to kick it over to Dave after this question, but I watched his debunk video, which is a little bit older, but has a zillion views. So congrats on that. But there's like, let's say you have this coffee cup caustic, right? And his claim is that there's like perpetual night, daylight in this spot and perpetual night in this spot, right? Am I representing that accurately?
Yes, near the solstices, there are places with 24-hour night and 24-hour day.
So how does that figure into this?
Yeah. Look, okay, I'll share the screen so everyone can see it.
Okay.
Does that work? We'll just do that. So I gotta find which one it is. Here we go. Okay.
I got you.
Okay. If you see here, this is a demonstration of the coffee cup caustic. Okay. That's what this is. So if you look, you put a dome over at the top of the flat Earth, you're going to take a light source. It's going to give you see the distribution of the equinoxes and the solstice right there below it. Now watch what the light does. Now look at it wrap all the way around the outside. Okay, this is called coffee cup caustic, meaning if there was a container on the Earth, it would literally have to do this. It would have to do this. And yes, all the mathematics has been shown, and I could pull that up if I need to.
Well,
so the math has been shown.
I want to give, while you pull that up, I'm going to give Dave 3 minutes to respond because we went over. So I want to give Dave, I'm like, I'm kind of keeping it rough, but just try to keep some semblance. So I want to let Dave respond to this.
I don't need 3 minutes. It doesn't perfectly match. It's just a very hackneyed demonstration that kind of sort of makes a shape. They're not showing any kind of actual model that directly correlates with all of the positions. So number one, it absolutely does not correlate with the times of day and night. Doesn't do it. But second of all, it also creates gigantic problems because in order to get this, you're pretending that there's this dome, magical dome or whatever the hell you're talking about that's giving this effect, which number one isn't there. Right? You cannot demonstrate that this dome is there. But number two, it creates other problems because if you're saying that the sun is outside of this dome, then you don't get to have the sun inside the dome for the magical explanation for tides and all these other things that don't make sense on a flat Earth that you're pretending that the sun and the moon do, right?
Yeah. Now, when Dave mentions this is another point of contention. I just, you guys are going at it, but I just want to keep everyone else in the loop. There is one of the points of contention is whether or not in the flat Earth model, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is whether or not the sun is inside or outside of this hypothetical dome. Because in one case, it's responsible for the tides and this, that, and the other. And then the other case, it's responsible. What is it? Tides and what did you?
Storms, everything.
Yeah.
Right? Coriolis.
So what is
storms rotate in opposite directions depending on the hemisphere? Everything.
Oh my gosh.
So okay, all right. So Austin, I'll give you. Go ahead and respond to that.
Okay. Yeah. So we don't know what's above us because you can't freely just shoot stuff up as high as you want to. Okay. And GPS cuts off over a certain height. It's all militarized. But there could be layers to it. I don't know if you've ever thought of that, Dave, but there could just be layers. There could be multiple layers. And yeah, we know the sun affects things here. Tides don't work. You just gish gobs. Tides don't even work in your model. You can look up a paper by a Harvard paper, a century of tidal theory failures.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, it's very simple. But this was if the whole debate is just, hey, let's just start spamming Austin with questions of how would this work on a flat Earth. That's not a debate. You're supposed to support the claim the Earth's a spinning ball. I showed direct falsification of it in my PowerPoint. So avoiding that is totally disingenuous.
Like the rotation of the night sky, depending on latitude, and you can't answer. You just say the word perspective and run away.
So Dave,
no, I got 3 words out and you interrupted it.
No. You were free to answer. That's all you could do.
Let me.
You remember we did the whole thing with the clock on the ceiling, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You said that,
fellas. Let me do. Okay, I'll play ball. I think that's fair. Why don't I give Dave and Austin? I think that's fair. Lots of time. Dave, defend your position. I'll give you 5 minutes enough. You think?
No. We don't need to. I mean, longer chunks of time are just time for word salads, right? We need to actually.
All right, defend that the Earth is a globe, and then when you're done, I'll pass it to Austin and let him.
Yeah. Word salad. There he goes.
Austin, right? So
I want him to rebut the specific.
Let me pause it. Let me pause
the globe where we see things from hundreds of miles away.
All right, what was that?
I was just wondering if he was referring to himself. Oh, I didn't hear you, Frankie. Sorry.
Yeah, everything he says is an absolute, but everything Austin says is false.
Yeah.
His reality is absolute, and everything Austin says is false. It's so stupid.
And make believe, right? And magical.
Yeah, made up, magical, yeah. But everything that I say is real and it's truthful. It's an absolute. Well, that's BS.
Yeah. He's literally a joke, and that's why we're utilizing the self-projection counter, because and he's already up to 54, because how much he literally does that. He puts on such a... That's why I honestly believe these guys that are, heliocentric apologists are comedy actors. These are comedy bits, because who can say these things in the way that they do and think that people are intelligent people are going to respect them? That's how I feel.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Be obstructive.
They make like we're clowns, and he doesn't even know what perspective is. I mean, Austin has tried to tell him several times what perspective is, and he just doesn't get it. It's ridiculous.
Would you say that they're almost like jesters? Like McToon is like a jester, huh?
Yeah.
He actually comes from a long line of jesters. Check out the new video, The Legendary McToons, available right now on Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Anyways, let's keep chugging.
By literal miles of vertical curvature, including silhouettes.
Pick one thing. Pick one thing like that. Okay, so that is the question.
Okay, the question is, why do we see too far? And the answer is, we don't. Sorry, they're all lies. Every time you do a picture like that, you're lying about the distance, you're lying about the elevation, right? The altitude from which the picture is taken. You're just lying, right? All of these things.
What is the picture you're talking about? Is this a picture where it's like, oh, here's a mountain that's
they just take pictures and like, look at this thing that's so far away, we shouldn't be able to see it. Or like, here's the Chicago skyline from across the lake, well, we shouldn't be able to see it. They're just always lying. They're just lying about the distance. They're lying about various.
Those were everyone I showed was from a professional photography website that has nothing to do with flat Earth, with all of the information listed.
Austin,
your model doesn't claim that the distances are wrong. That isn't your model's answer.
No, you guys just lie. You guys just lie. That's all it is. You just lie about how far away things are and how high.
It's a professional photography website. It has nothing to do with flat Earth.
Well, can you share one so people can see what you guys are talking about, please?
Yeah, sure.
Anyone you want, as long as David.
What's up, brother?
He sounds like Joe Biden. That's what Joe Biden was saying. You're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying. That's all he kept doing, is saying you're lying.
And what else can he do, right? He could just
everything we say is a lie, but everything he says is the truth.
Yeah, and his truth is just things he's repeating that other men have said, right? That's all they're doing. Austin has actually deeply looked into these things, and like many of us, came to believing in what could be referred to as biblical cosmology, because that's where the evidence led. We were humble. We saw that we had been lied to, and we were able to get over that, in our hearts. And for some of us, it was easy. For some of us, it was hard. And then for someone like Dave to sit there and self-project lie, when we know for a fact the things that he's talking about are exactly lies. So good job, Dave. Dude, I know we can't see his hands, but he's just rubbing them so hard right now. Like, I'm surprised at some point that he doesn't catch a fire with how hard he's rubbing his hands. Anyways,
he's so smug too. Look at the face.
Just look at that, dude. Just imagine everyone. Let's all bring let's all bring it down a little bit. And we're gonna look at Dave, and we're gonna just imagine what he's doing with his hands right now. Let's all do it together. Let's rub those hands under the table, right? We're just gonna rub them and solemn with Dave.
they just don't want to leave the Matrix. I mean, it's just that they
What?
have to believe everything that mainstream science, everything that mainstream media says.
What? Who's
Aliens are
what?
real. We
Cypher.
live on a spinning globe.
Cypher from Matrix. Remember, he's like, why? Oh, why didn't I take the blue pill?
Yeah.
Right? That's what some people do, and there's stages, right? And if you can get through those stages, the stage that Dave is he has no desire for actual truth or seeking it out. He just takes what is given to him, and he gives his authority over to his mind and his spirit and his soul over to the authority of men who believe that he has a lesser mind and no soul and no spirit. And he's happy with that because he gets to do whatever he wants.
I mean, even if he did a little research in the what the globalists are saying, he would see that the flat Earth community is right.
Yep.
They just don't want to leave the falsehood of this reality. There's comfort in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, let's keep chugging. Oh, and Darth Jar Jar, I love your name, but completely disagree with you. Dave is literally, I'm pretty sure he has our highest self-projection count, or is projected. I'm projecting right now. He's sitting at a 66. Non-surprisingly, and we're actually at 33 minutes and 22 seconds. So a little gematria for you there, Jar Jar Binks. That being said, sir, what I'll have to say is Dave is look. You can imagine him rubbing his hands right now, can't you, sir? Be honest. Look at his face. Imagine what his hand's doing. Yeah, Dave is a very silly boy, but. Let's keep chugging.
Agrees that it looks good. Share one that you think, Austin, that you think. I'm trying to, share one that you think supports your position, and then Dave can debunk the photo, or he can share his criticisms of the photo. And while he's looking that up, I want to give everyone a chance, let you know. I'm joined here by two creators, two commentators, both Witsit Gets It Done on YouTube, linked in the description. Is at YouTube at Witsit, and as well as Professor Dave. Also enjoyed your Terrence Howard. Give everyone a chance, let you know.
This was really weird to me. He literally says
Witsit, and as well as creators,
look, watch.
Two commentators, both Witsit Gets It Done.
Where does it say done, guys? Where does it say Witsit Gets It Done? Does anyone see that anywhere?
He should change it to that. I like that.
No, I'm just saying the accordingly seems a little low IQ because like he's reading words that aren't there. Maybe he has, maybe he's microdosing, or maybe he did some DMT before this show. I don't know. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying there's no word done there. Kind of weird there, brother. A little on the spectrum.
The name of his channel, The Smug Thug.
Or Professor Self-Projection Dave. Professor Self-Projection Dave.
He's a professor of smugness.
All right, let's keep checking.
On YouTube, linked in the description, is at YouTube at Witsit, and as well as Professor Dave. Also enjoyed your Terrence Howard video because I think he actually is legitimately insane, but that I don't know. But
expected virality on that one, yeah.
Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, but both guys create content. One of the people in this room are banned from Twitter. I don't want to name names, but otherwise you can find them on Twitter, or Dave, is there somewhere else where you want people to look for your stuff other than
nah.
Okay,
YouTube.
One of these guys in the room is also propped up by all the algorithms.
All right, all right.
I make popular content, man. I make popular content because it's funny.
Wait. You're prioritized by the algorithm.
No, I'm things that people like to watch are prioritized by the algorithm.
If I Google
nobody
Witsit Gets It,
you
you
guys,
come up.
So few people are stupid enough to fall for a flat Earth, so nobody watches you guys.
Well, Dave, listen.
Interesting.
If I YouTube Witsit Gets It geocentrism, a literal stream I did, you pop up. Can you explain to me why you're popping up when I search for me? Okay, let's not play games.
Let's try it.
YouTube admitted in Congress they deprioritize flat Earth content because it's misinformation. So what?
I don't get it. I got, if the Earth is flat, what's under it? Shorts.
Yeah,
solar system from Earth's perspective.
Of course, because it's heavily censored. It doesn't mean it's true, but we don't have to play this game that you're not propped up.
Jeff recommends popular content, but I make very good, informative, educational content.
Look at that. What do you? Wait, go down. What do you have to do with Witsit Gets to geocentrism? What does your video have to do with it? You just proved my point live for the whole entire audience.
Maybe I put the keyword geocentrism in there. I don't even remember what my keywords are.
No, you didn't.
You don't know what my keywords are.
I know for a fact you did it. So anyway,
you have access to my YouTube
because I've tested this because you're the #1 propped up anti-flat Earth. Dude, they admitted in Congress that they consider it misinformation, so they deprioritize it and they prioritize the information correcting the misinformation. That would be you, according to them. So they prioritize you. If you look up anything flat Earth related, you get Professor Dave. Okay, we all know that content blows the rest of your content out. That's why you got so many tens of millions of views.
Look, I have 1,500 tutorials. Do we really want to talk about my education?
No, bro, I'm not even. I hope good luck, brother. I'm not hating on your success. I'm just pointing out.
No, you definitely.
I'm literally not, dude. If you make $400 million, I don't care. I wish you would. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just pointing out, bro. I'm just pointing out.
Awesome.
The objective fact that it's C-Park.
Awesome. I love you, but hold on. Now, here's a picture that Austin shared. Nobody denies that this picture exists. Austin, what do you say this is showing? Now, remember, I keep bringing it back because people who are watching aren't as balls deep as you guys both are in the topic. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is just a picture to me. What does this show?
Okay, so this was the world record at the time. It's been beaten now for the longest line of sight photograph ever taken. This is a mountain called Pic Gaspard. Okay, and it was now on a globe. If I look out, the Earth should be curving and blocking things in the distance, similar to how I can't look around a corner, right? If I look, it's like looking at a hill. So if based on your height,
taken at 12,000 feet, though, right?
Correct. Right. So what you do is you pull up Earth Curve Calculator, you put the observer height in, and then it'll tell you where the horizon will be, and it'll tell you how much of the target hidden height there is. So this is from the Earth Curve Calculator, official calculator. And if you look at it, the observer was 9,000 feet up. The target hidden height, meaning how much Earth curvature should be there, is 16,000 feet, and the top of the tallest part of the mountain is only 12,000 feet. That means the top of that mountain should be 4,000 feet below Earth curvature.
Okay, and then Dave, what do you say to that?
Two things. One, I cannot verify any of those numbers. Those could absolutely be fabricated by you. And number two, we're not doing any of the math. So those are two things that are not being verified. So instead, let's talk about something purely conceptual and intuitive. Why can we see farther with elevation?
You're on the screen. Be careful.
What happened?
I know.
Okay. I was just saying.
This guy's just denying basic math.
I put my own home address on when I didn't realize it. So I was just telling
I guess you. Good look.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me finish the thing I was saying.
Go ahead. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
So we can't verify any of these numbers. So instead, let's just talk about something very simple and intuitive. If we are looking at something at the horizon, if we go up in elevation, we can see farther. That is not intuitive on a flat Earth because that actually increases the distance to the horizon, right? If you're going up, now there's an additional distance, right? If you get a hypotenuse, that's always going to be longer than the leg there. So why can we see further with higher elevation? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that's insanely incorrect. So you change your angle of view.
Okay, so just address the point, right?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
Within 7 seconds. He made a claim
you're here,
it doesn't make any sense.
If you go up, this is even farther now, right? If you're here and you're looking at something here and you go up in elevation, that thing is now further away from you. So why can you see further with additional elevation?
Because you're increasing your angle of view.
Increasing
you
your
didn't know that?
You can see how can you see a further distance? We're not talking about an angle, a further distance. How can you see?
Because now you're changing your angle of view, so you're increasing your angular resolution and the things that you can pick up in the distance. Also, the ground ramps up due to perspective. Dude, just imagine, just think about it simply. If I was on a flat floor and I laid my head down on the floor, as I start to stand up, I'm going to be able to see further along the floor because my angle of view increases. This is again not exclusive to a globe Earth. And you deflected away from the observation that refutes the globe again.
Because I can't verify any of these numbers or the math. They're just lying about them.
Okay, so if the numbers are correct, then you concede it refutes the globe?
Probably not. No.
Okay, then answer it as if the answer, because these are not my numbers.
Okay, I don't know that.
Everyone at home's gonna be able to go look it up. It's a official professional photography website.
I want to let you guys both know. At the start of the show, I did a poll. Just so it's with about 3,000 votes, it's 65% Globe Gang, 35% Flat Friend, which I thought I'm going to run it again at the end because I thought this would be fun and a fun experience.
Well, nobody's going to change their mind here.
Well, you're probably true. So you've watched online debates before, Dave. So yeah.
Well, no, not really. He brings his flat Earth, people, and I mean they impervious to facts and logic, so they're not going to change.
Says the guy that says ducking a picture.
Yeah, I'm ducking a picture because it's a picture, right? I'm talking about very simple physical concepts, right? I'm talking about observations that we can all agree on, like the observation of the celestial sphere rotating counterclockwise versus clockwise, that you cannot explain, that only makes sense on a spherical Earth that we used in ancient times to prove that the Earth is a sphere. That's why sphere is the default position that you're trying to undermine by talking about.
Hey, real fast, can we show some intellectual honesty? I understand that you don't know these numbers, and fair enough. Okay, you should want to verify them. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I'm asking you in good faith, if the numbers were correct, which they are, what would be your response?
You could say if the numbers were correct.
Okay. Yeah, it's an intellectually honest question, and it's actually disingenuous to avoid addressing the evidence just with the cop out that I can't verify the numbers right now.
It's actually really not, because when you have an entire model that is all interconnected and all observable phenomena are explained by that model, one singular datum, like one photo, is not going to be powerful enough to undermine an entire model. If the numbers were true and if the math wasn't fudged, then I would say, okay, there's probably some kind of atmospheric effect or some kind of thing that I am not aware of that is making us see a little bit further. Maybe it's something that particular day. There's a particular humidity, or it's clearly over water. That's going to increase the atmospheric refractive effects. None of these observations are ever done over land. I think that's why. Same with the skyline of Chicago. They're always done over water for you guys. So there's something clearly, just one singular explanation that is missing. And that's why one datum is not going to undermine an entire model that explains every single thing about the world that we live in, from everything we see in the night sky to geological phenomena to just absolutely everything in our world, right?
So hand wave dismissal, red herring fallacies, appeal to possibilities. That's your rebuttal. Okay, we can move on.
Fallacy, name a fallacy.
Let's move on.
Do you know that fallacies are important, Dave?
Now, I know that you guys name random fallacies to pretend that you've won something when you didn't. That's
you literally appealed to possibilities. You said there's probably something that could possibly be happening. You literally did a textbook appeal to possibility. It's all good.
You're pretending that one observation is worth more than thousands upon thousands of observations every single day.
I showed 10. It doesn't matter. You're just affirming the consequent and reifying your model by saying it explains everything. What about the micro?
We see too far.
What about the long distance radio waves? What about when we shoot radio waves line of sight?
That's thousands of sporadic E propagation. It bounces off a layer of the atmosphere.
Okay, that's called skywave propagation.
Okay, hold on.
Sporadic E propagation.
Everyone's had their say on that. Okay, let me ask you. What another thing that I found fascinating as a normie is the contention between the what do they call you, Dave? A glober?
I don't know.
What is the name?
Heads, globe. I don't care.
And then so the globe people and the flat people is the idea that's one of the things that I saw Austin talk about and you talk about was that essentially 5,000 years ago, there was a different North Star. And the question around whether or not the stars move, because that is actually paramount to the idea that the Earth is rotating around the sun versus the Earth being the center of the universe. So Austin, I'll go to Austin, then I'll go to Dave, and then next time we'll start with Dave. So in the flat Earth model, is it that the stars? Can you explain the stars thing to the layman in the flat Earth model?
Okay, wait, the star thing, like the question you just asked about the star moving, or something else?
Well, I thought maybe I misunderstood. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the flat Earth mindset was that the stars did not move. Is that not true?
Sure.
Am I wrong about that?
Okay. Well,
or correct
the
me.
claim.
Yeah.
There is a claim that the North Star used to be a different star, and it's a very vague, ambiguous claim based on like architecture. So there's no actual legitimate evidence verifying that. For all legitimately recorded history, we have Polaris. But there is something called a kinematic equivalence, which sure that sounds fancy, but it's not.
Hold on. I know you're explaining it, but you didn't add. So is it what is the flat Earth position on stars? Do they move or do they not move?
They move every day. That's called sidereal rotation. If you mean over time, there does seem to be a slight progression of the stars. But what I'm trying to explain is that isn't exclusive to the Earth moving or not moving, right? It's called kinematic equivalence, which is what relativity is about, relative motion. It's like, oh, is the plane moving or am I moving? You can never tell. That's what the globe model says. So anything that moves in the sky could by default not prove that we were the ones moving according to the official globe model. That's the point I'm making. It's called a kinematic equivalence. So whatever the stars are doing, because we can't go back thousands of years and verify if the North Star was different, whether it was or wasn't, it doesn't prove the Earth is moving.
So, Dave, your response to that?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, the North Star became Polaris in like 600 CE or something.
6,000 years ago or something. Yeah.
No. Way more recent than that. Polaris. I mean, it was Thuban in the times of the Egyptians. Became Polaris. So that's well documented. But furthermore, we don't need to do that. We can very accurately observe Milankovitch cycles. We can see the precession of the rotational axis happens every year. It could be measured, and then there's parallax and all these other things. But that's not really what matters, because again, he's trying to do this thing where he doesn't have to where he's pretending that geocentrism doesn't assume a spherical Earth. When the argument was going on in the Renaissance, early Renaissance, about geocentrism and heliocentrism, we knew that the Earth was a sphere. So every time he does this kinematic equivalence thing, the kinematic equivalence he's trying to refer to is whether the Earth goes around the sun or if the sun goes around the Earth, not doing little donuts on a pizza land. That's not an equivalence. Those are not equal things. We're talking about one going around one or the other going around the other. Those are the two things. So geocentrism, you often try to defend a geocentric model. It assumes a spherical Earth. That is an actual model that can, to some reasonable precision, describe the motions of the celestial objects and put them where they're supposed to go and predict quantitatively where they're going to be. Flat Earth doesn't have that. You don't have any model. You don't have any way of saying this is where the planets are going to be. This is when an eclipse is going to happen. Any of these things. You absolutely cannot do any of those things. That's why I told you in the beginning, if you want to defend geocentrism, that's totally fine. We can talk about how we know that the Earth moves, which is a completely different topic from knowing whether the Earth is round or flat, because geocentrism uses a spherical Earth.
Okay, response to that, Austin.
Okay, so what's happening is I'm specifically addressing the singular point, and you're gish galloping. No. So, like, you want me to address everything you just said, right? Like, for one,
kinematic equivalence has nothing to do.
How about this? I'll throw it back to you real quick. Why is geocentrism exclusive to the Earth being a sphere?
Because it's a model that works. Flat Earth doesn't work. It doesn't explain anything we see, like the observations of the celestial sphere that you keep running away from. You cannot explain why the stars rotate one way in the north and the other way in the south. You cannot explain that.
All right, I'm going to take my time back and let me respond to everything you said, because you didn't answer. So the answer is that it's not, because with everything
you didn't answer. That's fine.
You didn't. You just started talking about star trails again. So with everything going on in the quote unquote universe, you said universe wouldn't exist. No, maybe not as you've defined it, but with everything going on, all the quote unquote planets, everything moving around, the Earth's shape doesn't matter. You just project that relative to your projection. You create a transform relative to your projection or your assumption. assumption
any
of motion.
observations of the night
Buddy,
sky.
I
unless
let
the
you
Earth is
finish.
here.
Chill out. Okay. So
yeah, let him finish. Let him finish, Dave.
So the truth is that all observations have shown that the Earth is stationary. We have the cosmic microwave background, which showed anisotropic inhomogeneous distribution of energy, which is the exact opposite of the heliocentric prediction, and intersected on the Earth. The 23.4 degree axis was on a non-local
Yummy
observation.
word salad.
Dude, define word salad.
You're just using words. You're trying to pretend that cosmology proves the Earth is flat. Then all cosmologists would be flat earthers. Do you have any
Straw
idea how
man.
insane you sound? No, it's not. You're pretending to understand cosmology.
Hey,
You're
Vader,
pretending.
pause.
When did I say that was word
microwave-
salad, Dave?
Huh? No, I'm saying it's word salad because it is word
Vader.
salad.
I like that.
Yeah, bro, it takes me a second to get a pause. What's up?
Did you see the video that they put up on the word salad, mocking Austin?
I did not.
Oh, it's hilarious. They just keep saying, "You're saying word salad," and there's some song behind it.
Oh, like they put it up mocking them for saying word salad.
Yeah. Somebody from our community put it up.
Nice.
And
I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah, Nick sent it to me. I'll see if I can find it in my text chain and send it to you.
Okay, sick. Do so.
I said that was word salad.
We're talking about the shape of the Earth. You're defending a flat Earth, which we figured out it isn't true in 2,500 years ago, and you're trying to talk about modern cosmology to try to talk about this when you can't even explain.
Sorry, I had to pause it real quick because the self-projection counter wasn't gonna get counted, and I needed to adjust some things. So bear with me while I do that. Is it gonna work with me? Seems like it's gonna be weird. Let's see if I can do it this way easier. Keep going. There it goes. Alright, let's keep trucking.
Naked eye observations of the stars in the sky.
Okay,
You
look,
can't
they're
do it.
directly related. The idea is that the Earth is a tilted, wobbling, spinning sphere that revolves around the sun. The alternative is that the Earth is a geocentric, stationary plane. Both of those are
that is a
directly
geocentric
related.
Sphere, that is a stationary sphere was the alternative. Prior to heliocentrism,
Dude.
we thought that it was a stationary
Stop interrupting.
sphere.
Hold on.
Prior-
Hold on.
You keep going off the rails. I got to bring you back to what we're talking about.
Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm getting some flack for allowing too much interruptions. That's on me. I know that both of you feel passionately about this, but please try to keep that to a minimum. But I do want to say, most importantly, I think it's really important and really cool that both of you took time out on a Saturday night to get online and do this and stream. And I just want to thank, I just want to give a shout out. I don't care who people back who are watching or whatever, both channels are linked in the description. Witsit gets it or Professor Dave. Ideally, you'd subscribe to both and consume both people's content and make up your own mind. I just want to before emotions heat up too much, just say, hey, I appreciate you both being here. I know that it's a weekend night. Can I, if you'll allow me, I'm getting called a coward for not bringing up The Edge, apparently, which is, I assume, one of the more controversial opinions and Austin, I think it's fair for you to say, hey, I showed up and I'm the one that has to answer. I'm the one that has to defend all our positions. But I also think that's a result of the fact that the spherical Earth is the commonly accepted opinion. So
Sure.
I want to be fair, and I'm not doing awesome at it, but I'm trying. So I want to say, if there are specific positions against the sphere or against that you want Dave to answer for, I want to give you that opportunity. But one thing that is what I found fascinating today was the idea of the ice wall or Antarctica. There's a lot of craziness around that, because what I thought, just being unbiased, trying to be unbiased, but I guess being honest, that is very hard for me to believe. because people can literally go to Antarctica. It's like I watched a lot of Flat Earth video. I told you guys before, I watched almost 8 hours, and I was like, these bastards better show up, because I spent my whole Saturday watching Flat Earth videos. But like, I was watching like the Antarctica thing, which is a common talking point, and people go there all the time. So what is the Flat Earth position about the rim? Basically, that's what people in chat are asking. That what's going on the edges in the Flat Earth? And then Dave, I'll give you a chance. Is that okay? And I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Okay.
All right. First of all, to address the first part, I'm cool with asking questions. That's the natural response, because Flat Earth is so out of left field for most people.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a normal conversation thing, not a like he's supposed to be debating me thing. But it's all good.
Okay.
I'm pretty chill.
I mean, I can let you guys just go at it too, if that's what you want.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna answer your question. Okay. This is the typically held position. You cannot freely and privately explore past the 60th south latitude, okay, which is a ring around the outside. So to independently and freely identify and verify what all is out there is not possible. Do people go there? Yes, you can go on approved guided tours. Most of the time, it's like just a couple locations. They say it's super dangerous. I have a friend that this is anecdotal, but a former NASA employee was stationed there for 6 months. He's a flat earther. It's admittedly the highest elevation on Earth. So when people say ice wall, I mean, there are videos and pictures of what you would call an ice wall. It's the highest elevation on the Earth.
Hold on. Highest elevation on Earth in Antarctica?
Highest average elevation. So not like Mount Everest, the highest average elevation of a continent.
Okay. That might
be. So we're saying we don't know what's there. And oftentimes people get this straw man. It's like flat earthers say you can't go to Antarctica. People go there all the time. No, we're saying you can't freely and privately explore it, right? Like if I let you in my house, but you couldn't go upstairs, you couldn't tell me what was upstairs, right?
It's a sex dungeon. I would know.
So are you going to go with Will Duffy to the South Pole? He's paying for you.
I told him when he first emailed me, before I even knew who he was, that I was open to going. I had specific parameters, which is that they can't take my words out of context and make a hit piece like they always do, that they have to be forthcoming about all the funding and all the stuff like that. And I said I would go. I have no reason not to go.
Hold on, Dave. Can you explain the Will? Because I know about the Will Duffy thing, but most people watching.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was getting these emails and not even knowing who he was, so I didn't reply. But this guy Will Duffy has been emailing flat earthers and people who make flat Earth debunking content about paying to bring some people to the South Pole to observe the 24-hour sun.
He's like some eccentric billionaire guy, right?
I don't really know anything about him, and I don't know how much money he has. I don't think he's a billionaire. I think he has enough money to pay for a couple people to go.
Because I will go. I'll do the South Pole tour.
I wouldn't. I have things to do, but I would love for some flat earthers to go and see the 24-hour sun. And most flat earthers are already making excuses. Weiss is saying he doesn't want to go because he's evil, Satan or something. I don't know what he's talking
Austin
about.
said he would go.
Okay, that's great.
And in Dave's position was that
Weiss is saying he doesn't love for some flat earthers.
Guys, I want to point something out real quick. I have to.
Eccentric billionaire guy, right?
I don't really know anything about him, and I don't know how much money he has. I don't think he's a billionaire. I think he has enough money to pay for a couple people to go.
Because I will go. I'll do the South Pole tour.
So listen to him.
I have things to do, but I would love for some flat earthers to go. And
do you hear what he said? I got things to do, but what are you gonna say just here shortly, Dave? Let's listen in, people.
See the 24-hour sun, and most flat earthers are already making excuses.
What, Dave? They're making excuses. You got stuff to do, Dave. What do y'all think? Do you think I should add at least 10 points for that, right? That's 10 self-projection points easily.
Yeah, we're making excuses, but he has an excuse. Come on. And it's not even a good one. I got things to do. I don't have the time. Get out of here. It's a free trip and what does the 24-hour sun have to do with anything?
The shape of the Earth, yeah. It's like
does it really make a difference that you can see the sun for 24 hours?
Does that change the shape?
You're on the highest elevation. You're in a sweet spot where the sun, because the sun rotates it doesn't rotate circularly. It rotates on it's like a figure 8. You know what I mean? So
You talking about the analema, like through the seasons, the analema, where you see the sun make it when you record it over a year.
Yeah. Well, the sun rotates on a figure eight kind of thing, and they call that the solstice. So obviously, you're in Antarctica. You're in the sweet spot of the solstice, where you're going to see the sun for a 24-hour period. It doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand why he would think that is such a selling point to us flat earthers.
Yeah, Witcher already demonstrated it works on both models. How the sun can wrap around the entire Antarctica. The thing is, you wouldn't be able to see it for 24 hours, but that's literally not the claim from people who have been down there is seeing a 24-hour sun. We can't get footage of it. It's
And all their claims on how the footage that is out there, which is just a few, but weird enough, if you look up the 24-hour in the north, there's tons of people just giving it out and showing it to.
Makes me wonder if some of that supposed footage from the south isn't just from the north.
Well, I think that whatever the few things that they have, it's obviously doctored. Now they say, "Oh, well, we just show it to you because it would be a 24-hour long video, right?" But they're not willing to put out the 24-hour long video. They're not willing to give us 24 hours of things of images, frames to comb through for any possible things. And furthermore, the one that was shown on the on Sean's channel by McToon, literally the shadows on the ground don't change as the shadows on the ground are literally one picture, and then the sky is a whole nother set of pictures. So it's 100% a fabrication.
Yeah, that was one of the older debunked videos for sure.
Doesn't Alaska get 6 months of sunlight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alaska, and
Well, it gets 9 months.
Antarctica. They get 6 months of sunlight, don't they?
Well, so I'll say this with that, I don't think they will see the sun in the sky for 24 hours. I'm not saying it's impossible. My intuition says they would not see that. However, I do think it's possible that they could see 24-hour sunlight. I think that the way that the firmament is, right, and most people who are globers obviously don't accept the firmament. So when they ask questions or when they make statements or when they make claims, they are obviously obviously I understand why they wouldn't accept the firmament, but they are coming from it that it doesn't exist, and so that's not in their equation. So I totally understand why you would have that and not in your equation. But to me, in reading scripture and being a believer, I put that into my decision, and in scripture it says it's there. So I do believe that has something to do with the firmament and the relationship between the sun and the moon and the device or whatever, which is a horrible, is no way equivalent to what I'm saying is actually been created, that the Father took a whole day to create. And so but anyways, it's obviously very sophisticated. But
Esther 4:14 says her mother or her mom went to Antarctica, and admittedly there was one promoteries where tourists are allowed to go, but she went in summer and said there was night and day. She also has been to Antarctica and seen midnight sun, and it was different. Now now there also is a theory. Now, this is just a theory that there is when you're that close to the firmament, you can see the other sun outside of the firmament. So if there is a midnight sun, which was different to our sun, they could actually be looking through the firmament and seeing the other sun. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense, or is that totally...
So this is the thing, is that in order to see a quote unquote 24-hour sun, it would have to be within the quote unquote northern hemisphere's winter, right? And so it would be when it was on the opposite side, and it in winter because of the tilt. And so obviously you have all these weird things that they have to add in, like the tilt and the wobble, etc., to explain the things, and explain to why the things in the sky move, right? It has to be the Earth doing these things in order to explain why the things in the sky do the things. Well, you know what? I'll just say this. In Scripture, it says that the sun and the earth move. It says that the stars move. And so I'm going to put my trust in the Father's word over Professor Self-Projection Dave. So that's my thoughts.
I feel like I'm moving. Yeah, especially since I don't feel like I'm moving.
Yeah.
And everything around me tells me I'm not.
Dude, you're so dumb that you don't understand why you wouldn't move. Why you're not moving, dude.
Right.
You don't understand. You're so dumb. You do not understand that you are spinning at 1,036 miles an hour, on the equator. I don't know your longitude and latitude when I shoot the bullet, but it doesn't matter what mine is either, because the Coriolis effect and I factor it in. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that we're on an elliptical orbit, which changes our velocity. When we move around a curved orbit around the sun, that's a change of direction. So
dude,
that would
gravity.
Yeah, gravity. I forgot about gravity. I always forget about gravity.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that's literally what they do. Gravity. It's obviously gravity is why that doesn't. It doesn't
always
feel
gravity. They always go to gravity first thing. They remember
It's so
gravity right off the hat.
Weiss is saying he doesn't want to go because he's evil, Satan, or something. I don't know what he's
Well,
talking
Austin
about.
said he would go.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
And
Just to be clear,
Dave's
right?
position was that he doesn't respect people that are dishonest and hide behind anonymity and stuff like that. So whatever, I said I would go because, dude, I'm not scared of anything.
Did
You
he
know why I'm a
contact
flat
you?
earther?
Did he contact you?
Yeah. He sent like a mass email, and when I saw it, I responded. I said, dude, look, I'll go. It has to be transparent and honest. People have stolen money. They claim on their videos they're going to fly us, and then we contact them. They're like, I'm not going to actually fly you. That's just for my YouTube video. But he still has a GoFundMe up to make flat earthers look bad. So I said, if it's honest, I'll go. I'm not scared of the truth, dude. I'm a flat earther because you can go see mountains from hundreds of miles away consistently. It doesn't add up. The math doesn't add up. So anyway, and
Can I bring it back?
I
Sorry,
don't know
sorry,
how
sorry.
that's going to manifest, but as of now, it looks like it could be me and Jaron going with, I guess, Dave McKeegan or something. But
Well, I give you.
and when we
props
don't
for
see the
going.
24-hour sun,
What are you going to have to see? So if you go, all right, right here and right now, you go, you see 24-hour sun, you come back, you make a video. Because look, I saw this in Dave's video. I feel like I've saw you, and I have also. Everyone's been wrong. It's not like a big deal. I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying, what will it take? Like if you go down there and you see 24-hour sunlight, you'll come back and say, all right, cool. I'm cool. It's global. I'm a global guy now. What would it take if you went to the South Pole for you to change your mind?
if I saw a 24-hour sun that does a 360 around me, like the Go predicts, I would
What would that
readily
look like?
admit, like that doesn't.
What's a 360 around me look like?
Like the sun should just do a full circle around you and never set, just like it does in the north in the midnight sun. It should do the same thing in the south.
What does
Yeah.
it look like
If
in
that-
Alaska when it's light for 24 hours there? Do
It literally does. If you're far enough north, you can just see the sun do a full circle around you, which is what the flat Earth predicts is what. What's up,
Dave? Do you have any issue with that? I don't know. I've never been there.
No, great. I can't wait. I really hope they go, and then when they come back, that's the end of flat Earth because that will be it. And we
well, let me finish what I was saying.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
it would match the globe. I would step back and be like, whoa, I don't expect it to. So I would admit, yeah, that's weird. That matches the globe. That's not expected on the flat earth from my understanding, blah, blah, blah. I'd openly admit it.
Isn't that what you just did to me about the photograph? Or I was thinking of another explanation.
What? No. I didn't even say that yet, but maybe. But a more definitive test actually is to charter a plane, fly far enough south, have multiple mechanical gyros spinning up that maintain rigidity in space. They should tip over as you go, and then it should flip over. So it should tip and flip based on the curvature of the Earth. If, say, that test and the 24-hour sun was actually manifested, which I don't have high hopes for, I would, if I found out for sure the Earth's a globe, I would be the first one to come out and admit I was wrong. Because that doesn't prove one thing doesn't prove is that we're flying through space. It doesn't prove any of this other nonsense.
Okay, well, let me ask this. So, I feel like Austin's been on a bit of the hot seat. So let me pose a question to Dave. I watched a bunch of your videos today. I actually really appreciate. I can definitely tell you're a teacher because all of your PowerPoint slides gave me PTSD back to my college days.
I'm good with slides.
Yeah. I actually, when I was getting my master's degree, I still had a professor that used overhead projectors that he had written in the 70s.
Old school. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've heard the terminology around flat Earth several times in your videos about grifting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the grift? What is the grift in saying that there's a flat Earth? Can you kind of describe that? Because I don't see a lot of these flat Earth guys being give me money. So what is it?
It's just a little cult, and there's super chats, and they do the conferences and all these things. That's all it is.
So there's
it's not like a huge grift. It's not like Scientology or something, but
okay, we all agree Scientology is a huge grift, right?
I hope we all agree that.
Yeah, dude, flat Earth doesn't make you money, bro. I get demonetized all the time. I'm deprioritized. And I had to lose a 6-figure job offer because I had flat Earth videos online.
Okay.
It is if you were going to grift, why would you pick the thing that doesn't make money?
Because you're it doesn't make a better grift. If you could do I've been debunking Billy Carson and some of these guys on the Rogan thing. That guy actually makes money lying about archaeology and ancient aliens and stuff like that. That would be a smarter grift.
What?
Okay, anyway, but this is the problem. People are going to get so triggered that Dave's not being forced to actually address his improper claims.
Okay, well, what is it?
I'm just going to be real.
No, he's right here. He's right. Okay, hold on, Dave. All right. What is it? Articulate the question that Dave has not answered, and then Dave, the floor is
all
yours.
ears.
Okay, yeah. So like I explained earlier, when we looked at the cosmic microwave background, it actually showed that there was, he called this word salad, anisotropic.
Wait, what is it? I just want to, we're not all, so what did you say? The what microwave?
It's called the cosmic microwave background, CMB, which is just, you send something up high in the air and you read the electromagnetic radiation. There's the visible spectrum of light, then there's the non-visible spectrum. It's pulling in all the data from the light that you can't see with your eyes.
If you've ever researched flat Earth, you know this image, right? Dave's seen this.
Probably,
image.
yeah. Most people certainly
do with flat Earth. I mean, this is cosmology.
No, hold on. But hold on, Dave. Okay. Hold on. Just let him. Yeah. Just let him.
It's about is the Earth moving or not? So in the current model that the Earth is flying around the sun, the universe, whatever, all energy should be evenly distributed. That's called homogeneous, and it should be isotropic, meaning it has no preferred direction. Okay, but what they saw was that it was inhomogeneous and anisotropic, and actually the part that had a preferred direction intersected on the Earth. And they ended up calling it the axis of evil. And then what they saw was that this anisotropic inhomogeneous distribution of energy was actually on a 23.4 degree tilt, which was supposedly the Earth's tilt, but it was observed way beyond our quote unquote galaxy, which means it could not have been the Earth tilted. So it's a major problem. The CMB matched the geocentric model.
Okay, Austin. So you're talking, so this image, right? The CMB model, right? You're saying, how does this, one thing I'm a layman, so I feel like I'm speaking for just regular people who are watching. What about this should Dave talk about when it comes to the sphere heads? So when you talk about the microwave, whatever, how does this relate to flat Earth is what my question is.
This is just about if the Earth is geocentric or not. If the universe is geocentric.
Okay,
so
that's a different conversation then, right? Because
it's not though.
The planet could be yes, it is, because the planet could be a sphere but still be geocentric.
It could be, yes, that's right.
Okay, so it is different.
The point is that the mainstream model we were all inundated with was that the Earth is a spinning globe. So the alternative is that the Earth is a stationary plane. And what
Okay.
always happens is the people that believe in the spinning globe, they want to avoid the burden of proof for both of those things, curvature and motion. And if they think they can say what's an eclipse, then somehow they don't have to explain all the evidence that shows the Earth's not a spinning globe. And that is
How do you
illogical.
Austin, how do you explain eclipses? You brought it up. I didn't bring it up. So
Well,
I
do we
don't
wrap
know.
this one up first. I mean, let's not jump
See-
topics here.
Okay, I'll shut.
No, we're not jumping topics, Dave. I do want to say something real quick. Is Austin has perfectly said it. He has said it perfectly. It's the two things. It's the fact that we have falsified the radius, that we have seen too far, that we have seen things that should be physically obscure by the physically geometric horizon, and such that it's like looking over a hill. You can't see the thing on the other side of the hill. And never, ever, ever have they proved that the Earth is moving. They have never proved that. They have speculated, and the only proof that they can even look to prove that is literally imagery from NASA. So, if it's an image, right, it must be true, right? If you haven't checked out my the new little comedy bit I did about the McToon, the legend of the McToons, check it out, because they're literally jesters. They're literally doing comic bits.
How long is
because
that video? Vader?
It's like 8 minutes, like 9 minutes. But anyways, yeah, it's just literally preposterous. Okay, anyways, let's keep going. So just to finish off those two things. We falsified the radius, and they have never been able to prove motion of the Earth. Let's continue.
Shut up. You're right, Dave. Thanks for keeping me in line. Go
Yeah.
on.
You can go whatever we want after this, but no, this is what Austin relies on. This is why he's so incapable of doing.
But what does
talking
it
about-
supposedly prove? I'm sorry. So
No,
what does?
That the Earth's in the center of the universe.
Got it. Okay, Dave, respond.
Okay, so no, it absolutely doesn't. Otherwise, cosmologists would all agree that Earth was at the center of the universe. Right? This is all freely available information that you're finding on Wikipedia. If this demonstrated what you're saying it does, that would be the consensus among people who study this for a living. It is not, and that doesn't do what you're saying. You're just saying it does. This is what you do, right? You need to talk about esoteric aspects of modern physics because your viewers don't understand what you're talking about and they just believe you, instead of talking about very simple things like, which I want to keep bringing you back to. Why is it that people looking in different directions can all see the Southern Cross at the same time? Very simple, intuitive things. These are what we should be discussing.
Sure. Okay. So hand wave dismissal, appeal to consensus, and
It's not hand
appeal
wave, you're
to
just lying about
authority.
what it says. You're just lying about what it says.
You said if it said what I said, all the experts would agree. The
Yes,
consensus
but
is
also it
that there
doesn't
is
say
no
that.
the consensus
The
is that
CMB
there's
is homogenous. The CMB is homogenous. This is common knowledge.
the consensus is that there's no legitimate explanation that's agreed upon for it. And it was originally rejected and then redone and showed the same unexpected results, and then done again and shown the same unexpected results. That's the actual truth. There isn't a legitimate consensus answer from your paradigm. Doesn't matter. When you want to keep talking about the stars, you said look different directions. Just like when Dave Weiss was talking to you, he tried to tell you magnetic declination's a thing, and you called that jargon and said that wasn't a real thing. You're just making up words.
I didn't say he made it up. I just said he's saying magnetism for no reason because it has nothing to do with what I was talking about. How is magnetic declination going to allow you to see the same thing by looking in different directions? Explain. You go ahead. Go ahead and
You
ask
have
the
to-
real man
okay.
what Weiss said.
We're going to see that you didn't follow him then either. And that is that you're talking about directions. You're invoking cardinal directions.
Mhm.
How do you determine your directions? So if you're going to use a compass, according to your paradigm, when you get to the south, the magnetic declination gets way worse.
Why
That
do I need a
means
compass? Can I use
How do you-
geographical phenomena? Can I point in a particular geographical direction by known landmarks? Don't we know on a map?
how did you
which way
know?
it's
How do you know the exact? First of all, when you're looking at the stars all the way to the Southern Cross, what known landmarks are you going to use?
anything on the tips of those continents. What are you talking about? You're standing at the tip of a southern continent. Look, I'll give you, let's say you're off by a degree or two. Okay, fine. We're looking a little bit this way, a little bit that way. On the graphic that I showed you, they're looking in completely different directions, all seeing the Southern Cross at the same time. It doesn't make sense. You can't.
First of all, it's not a degree or two, Dave. It is dozens and dozens of degrees. If you go far enough south, it is actually 179 degrees at one point. Meaning,
how far south? Very near the magnetic pole.
Yeah, in your paradigm, which your magnetic pole's in the ocean. But the point is dude, if you're going to say I'm looking south for sure, you're relying on magnetic declination corrections. Okay, but that's the point Dave was making. You hand wave dismissed it, and it's just a fact.
I can go outside of my house and look north without looking at a compass because I know which way north is on a map. Do you use a compass every day to orient yourself, or do you just know which way the cardinal directions are?
Yeah, but in the north we have Polaris to go off of, right?
On a map, on a street, walking around the street, you've got a grid of streets, you know which way is north. Do you need a compass to do that?
Well, actually, if you use the compass, it will show you different directions over time. I'm asking you, how do you verify south?
Use geography.
How did you verify the exact cardinal direction of different geographical input? Okay, but let's just, anyway, you don't understand that point apparently, but it doesn't matter.
Or you're just desperately pivoting.
No, dude. You said that it wasn't a real thing, and now you think
it wasn't a real thing. I said you're just bringing up magnetism for no reason because you think that's going to save you. It's almost verbatim what I said.
How else? You're saying the only other way to verify it is to look at geography.
Dude,
okay,
you're pretending that if I'm looking at what I know is south on a map, that I could somehow be pointing basically north or near north. Is that really how much of it's just distortion you think is physically possible when you're just using a map to look south?
You don't just use, okay, I'm trying to explain to you that in your paradigm, in the south, the magnetic declination gets crazy. In theory, could that be true? Sure.
Where does it get crazy? How close to the magnetic pole do you have to get in order for it to get crazy? How close?
Wherever you're viewing the Southern Cross from is far enough south that the magnetic declination is a significant factor.
Is it though? Because it's not really that close to the magnetic pole.
No, but it can still be 40, 50 degrees magnetic declination in your paradigm.
No, it
yes, you can go to magnetic-declination.com and look it up. The other thing is there's something called an azimuthal grid. So we actually see the world in a little azimuth grid. That's how we measure it, right? That's how we measure the stars. We take our zenith and then we take elevation measurements down to our azimuth. So it gives you a little dome. Now, when you actually run this through a software, you will see that if you had a bunch of stars circling over top of you and you had this little limit of vision that was a dome, you'll actually see the stars appear to converge at a point where they're actually not converging and circle around that point. We have replicated it, so we actually expect it. The problem is we need to verify the exact cardinal direction to even put that input into the software to know for sure, to give you a flat Earth model you all beg for, and it is impossible to 100% verify the cardinal directions that far south. So
hold on. All right, okay.
You have no such model. You have no such thing, or you would have shown it. You would have all been celebrating it in all your videos. You can't.
We've shown it. We have shown it.
Well, bring it up. I'm going to let you bring it up, Austin. I want to say this. Go ahead and take a minute. Bring it up. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, so I wanted to keep this to, maybe 30. Are you guys okay with 30 more minutes? Is that okay? Or
yeah,
20, 30.
20, yeah.
Okay. So are you guys okay with? I want to just pull the pin on a grenade, chuck it in.
You can only do 20 more minutes
and let you guys go at it because I'm getting yelled.
Yeah. Accordingly, yeah. So something interesting happens. We're gonna skip through that part at the end. I actually don't think there's that much left. But we'll let's. Remember, guys, if y'all ever want me to stop, just go ahead and tell me to stop. But let's keep trucking so we can finish this tonight. So here we go.
All that for interrupting too much.
Oh, Vader.
But.
Yes.
I'll try to find that time marker when we start that.
Oh, okay.
Also, would you guys be okay with the last 10 minutes of the show? We looked at some viewer questions. Is that okay? So can we do 20? Are you guys okay with 25 more minutes or no?
Yeah,
I am. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I just
Wait. Hold on. You good with 25 more minutes?
Yeah.
Austin, Dave. Okay. So I want to let everyone know, hey, again, I'm getting a lot of shit for being, maybe interrupting too much, but I just want to let people, I try to pick my spots, but what matters most is that these two gentlemen spent Saturday evening with me. 3 dudes on a date on Saturday night.
Skip this.
We
This is
obviously
annoying.
Wits It Gets It. We have Patreon on. We're on SpaceX
I'm sorry,
right now.
bro.
Starlink. I know. Sorry. Space jump. Actually, because I watched this video like in real time because I'm a space dork. Keep that in mind when we discuss. Not that my opinion matters. It's really the viewers' opinions that matter. If you're the dome.
Well, I think I already addressed that. We can't freely privately explore there. It's highest elevation in the world. Some people think that's what it could
you
be.
talk about. Yeah.
You can all go to
Well,
the South
you can't
Pole.
fall off the edge of a lake or a pond. We don't know what's beyond it. Could there be more land? Sure. Could there be something containing it that touches down? Sure. We literally can't freely and privately explore it, so we don't know. It's kind of like saying, do you fall off the edge of a lake though? Like, no, Antarctica would serve as the shore.
Make sure you go to the South Pole with Will. Make sure you get over there.
I definitely,
Yeah.
I'm in. So
Can we address the Felix thing though, since you brought it up?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
He's talking about the diver, right? The Felix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it looks like the Earth is a ball, obviously, an extremely small ball.
He's in lower Earth orbit here. He's not.
No, he's not. He's 180,000 feet up, so that's actually very low. And this was sponsored. Real fast. This was sponsored by GoPro. So this is a GoPro fisheye lens. If you look at the video, the angle from inside the cockpit or whatever you want to call it, you can actually see the horizon's flat. So Neil deGrasse Tyson himself came out and addressed this idea that like people think that Felix was so high that he could see the curvature of the Earth.
That's from the cockpit. That doesn't look flat.
No, that's not. That's from outside, still using the GoPro.
Well, that's
now, look,
exaggerated.
you can
We can admit that is exaggerated curvature.
Yeah.
Because it's on a.
The curvature's still there.
Yeah, it's on a squish.
Well, you say that, okay, but according to even Neil deGrasse Tyson, you would never see the curvature of the Earth from that height because you'd only be 2 millimeters above a typical blown up beach ball or whatever. But
what about that?
The point that's important here is I've heard Dave say, and I don't watch Dave, so I'll be honest with you, bro, but like I listened to a few minutes of it earlier. I heard you say something.
You should watch your debunkers, dude. That's time well spent.
No, I've watched some of his older stuff. Okay. It's all the same stuff, bro. But anyway, so this is the problem.
Obliterating your position.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with all strawmans. But look, this is what I want to point out. Dave said that this guy was in his balloon and it maintained the momentum due to the conservation of momentum with the spin of the Earth. So when he fell out, he maintained that momentum.
Yeah.
Felix Baumgartner landed like dozens of miles in the opposite direction.
Well, he accelerated though. When you watch this, he did not maintain his position, right?
But if you're spinning underneath him, why would he fall in the opposite direction?
The opposite direction. What's going on while he's falling? Is there no interaction with the atmosphere? Is there absolutely no change in what's going on?
Well, there's not much atmos up that high. You could say once he got down, he started drifting. If that's what you want to claim, I mean, I actually looked at the weather data. It seemed like there wasn't much wind. I'm pointing out that your claim that he was just following the Earth is patently false. He fell like 40 miles in the wrong direction.
Okay, well, on a
that
flat
isn't
Earth,
curvature of Earth.
Straight up and straight down, so it actually obliterates your position. I don't know what you're gloating about here.
What?
I didn't know this
on
was
a flat Earth,
video.
going straight up and straight down. Why would there be any discrepancy in where he lands if it was a flat Earth?
Okay, it wouldn't obliterate my position. We can both agree now it has something to do with wind, and your claim that he was just following with the Earth is ridiculous and stupid and
like
not true.
Ridiculous and stupid. That's obscene. But I think much more importantly,
that was your claim,
what you absolutely can't explain is why that guy fell down.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
the gravity conversation.
Electric gravity. Let's do electric gravity.
Yeah,
let's talk about it. Let's.
Because he has weights when he's more dense in the air and he went down.
What is weight?
It is mass times gravity. Mass is volume times density times downward acceleration. Gravity is little g, which is just downward acceleration, 9.8 meters per second squared, which you falsely claimed that we can't derive, but you can do that with a kinematic equation, strictly a kinematic equation.
Get me 9.81 meters per second squared without using the mass of the Earth.
Literally, you can do it with a kinematic equation. It's also been done with
see it. Where is it?
Yeah, initial height, velocity, and time will give you the same exact 9.8 meters per second value. That's just the effect. Did you know that 9.8 meters per second squared is just the effect? It isn't even like the claimed cause.
What do you mean the claim?
So-
It's a value. It's an acceleration due to the mass of the Earth. That's why G changes with radius, with elevation on different celestial bodies. That's why G is different on the moon. It's different on Mars. You think that's all fake, of course, but So, very, very simply, you cannot explain why things fall down. You just can't do it.
I can.
No,
yeah.
you can't.
Everything. It's more dense than the air, and so the question would be,
So,
why is there up and
Why does it go down?
why is it down? That's your
It is
question.
less dense too. The air above it is less dense. Should fall up.
Why is it? What?
The
Dude,
air above an
you're
object.
more dense than the air. It doesn't matter if the air above you is less dense than the air
Well,
below.
why does it go down? This air is less dense. In fact, this air is even less dense than this air. Why does it go
Okay,
up?
why would that mean it goes down?
What do you mean? Why does that mean? Because the mass of the Earth. The mass of the Earth is the things fall. The reason
You
that things
don't-
fall down.
Dude.
Dude.
Helium. Why does helium rise?
Because it's less dense than air.
There you go. It's
So
less dense than the other air.
Gravity
Okay.
pulls the air
Okay.
down more than the helium.
That's
It's the
what
same
you
reason
think.
the beach ball goes up in the air, in the water.
You're just reifying your belief, and this is what's even funnier.
Reify.
Well,
How is it
listen, dude.
reification? I'm not doing anything abstract and turning it.
Yeah, because you have a
concrete.
concept. You have a concept of gravity in your mind, and you are attributing concreteness to it, and just assuming it's true by treating the concept as
to
if it's
assume
actual.
anything, because I know that it's exclusively an effect based on mass and not electromagnetism, as you pretend. You absolutely cannot use electromagnetism to explain anything that gravity explains. You can't.
I never said electromagnetism. There's a downward electric current on the Earth. This is actually another falsification of the globe. We have a
electricity and
uniform.
magnetism
we
are
have a,
not part of the same thing. What do you mean, not electromagnetism?
we have a vertical electric field on the Earth, and it has a 100 volt per meter increase. It's equipotential increase. It's a vertical
dissipates with
electric
altitude.
field. It's a vertical electric field, and it's uniform. And so we have 100 volts per meter. Now
not
that's
uniform.
impossible.
It's not
That's
uniform.
impossible. Yeah,
It's not. uniform.
Does it increase 100 volts per meter?
No, it dissipates with elevation, which is why Felix can't be falling down due to electromagnetism.
Does it increase 100 volts per meter?
For like 100 meters. And then there's the dissipation.
No, your
if
model
you go
claims
way
that
up,
it's up to like
electrostatic
50
field goes in
miles.
there. Okay, look, even if whatever
You're
you
so
want to say
wrong
with
about
that,
everything.
why doesn't anything fall up? Austin, why doesn't anything fall up? Electromagnetism is both attractive and repulsive, right? So some things are attracted to the Earth. Why isn't anything repelled from the Earth? Why doesn't it fall up to the other Gaussian surface or whatever you want to talk about? Why doesn't anything fall up?
So first of all, radial distribution of a sphere would not allow you to have equipotential parallel surfaces that are 100 volts per meter.
Why does it?
No, I'm finishing my point. Then I'm just letting the audience hear the conclusion of the point.
Let him answer. Let him answer.
So that's the conclusion of the point that Dave previously avoided, which is that radial distribution of a sphere could not replicate what we have on the Earth. But you said, why don't things go up? You mentioned my middle school experiment or whatever you called it, right? Where I actually made something lift, and I did it with iron filings. I did it with multiple different materials, even insulators. So you said that doesn't count, and I can't make big objects.
Yeah,
I can't make big. Okay.
Hey,
Did you know that physics scales?
The bigger an object is, the more charged particles there are in it, right? So the effect should be greater. Why can't you do it with a rock or a person? Why don't we see anything fall up ever?
Because you would have to increase the amount of, say, electrostatics you introduce proportionate to its weight, which is, again, mass, which is volume times density relative to the pressure mediation of the atmos. Wait. My question is,
yum.
Dude, what did I say that was word salad?
All of it. You're just saying words.
All of it.
I'm asking you why things don't fall up. In a field, particles of opposite charges are accelerated in opposite directions, right? So why can't you make anything fall up? Why doesn't anything on the Earth fall up? It's a very simple question.
I'm trying to explain it.
A lot of people fail up. I'm just saying.
Fail up.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it's really a simple concept. So when you have something that has weight, that's volume times density. Okay, that's mass, and then volume times density times acceleration. Little g is just downward acceleration, just an effect. So whenever that's the case, that pressure mediates
acceleration due to gravity.
That's what you guys believe. That's what he thinks. Okay, little g is just the effect. It isn't exclusive to any belief. Okay. Well, everyone keeps invoking little g as if it's proof of, I guess, the bending and warping of space and time or whatever.
We don't even have to go with electricity. Or I
know you
relativity.
can't go that route. Trust me. We know.
Well, no, you can. Relativity is one of the most corroborated theories in the history of science, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's not.
You can just use Newton. Well, it is.
It was falsified in 1933. Fritz Zwicky was off by 99%.
Definitely was never
Let
falsified.
me ask this question, dude. It's a simple question. You said that my experiment doesn't do anything. In reality, what I did was manipulate the electric field, and then it caused the objects to go up, even though that they were heavier than the air.
What you did was apply an enormous electric field to overwhelm the effects of gravity. You took a different force, electromagnetism, to overwhelm gravity for a teeny tiny little object.
Right.
Once again, what I just said, a very massive object, a lot of matter, has more charged particles. In my body, there are many, many more charged particles than a tiny piece of styrofoam.
What about
that be greater? Can't we accelerate up? Can't we levitate? Can't we fly? Why not?
I just have a simple question. You won't let me get it out because you know you won't be able to answer.
I just answered it.
Ask the question then. Ask the question.
Okay, I've tried like 3 times. It's simple. You're saying that doesn't count because I can't do it with bigger objects.
Yeah.
Do you know that physics scales?
Yeah, so a larger object, more charged particles, the effect should be greater. Why doesn't anything?
So you agree though that if I do the same principle on a bigger scale, if I increase the force proportionate to the object, I would be able to make things go up. And your claim that you can't do it with bigger objects is completely ridiculous, non sequitur.
Countering gravity. You would be countering gravity. I'm talking
reifying gravity again.
Stop saying reification. Do you have any idea how dumb you sound when you say
Hold
reification?
Hey, come on.
Okay.
You're just begging the question over and over, dude. You're just saying, I promise.
Hold on, fellas. We're bringing it home.
You can only do this with a Van der Graaf generator because you are applying an external field to overwhelm gravity. You're saying that out there in the world, it's all electrostatic. So we shouldn't need a Van der Graaf generator. Out there in the world, where this is an electromagnetic effect, and we know that electromagnetism is both attractive and repulsive. Out there in the world, why doesn't anything fall up ever?
Okay. First of all, depending on the environment, say like your hair will stick up during thunderstorms. Bumblebees literally do something called non-contact pollen detachment. They fly over top of the flowers and the pollen levitates. Literally, there is naturally occurring phenomena that's based on the electric field of the earth. You're saying we're adding an external force? No, we're manipulating the force that's already. Let me finish. We're manipulating the force that's already there. I didn't add anything. Everything that exists is electrostatic. Right, which is on the smallest scale is 10 to 36 power stronger than your belief in gravity. And all molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic. That means all objects that exist are held together by that. So you're acting like I'm adding something.
Was someone trying to say something? I apologize.
Nope.
I apologize for stopping it. Then let's keep going. It's almost done, and then we'll talk a little. We'll skip a little bit and talk about it, and then. Call it a stream, but let's keep trucking.
Something that wasn't there. No, I'm just manipulating what was there. Now you do the same thing with your belief in gravity. Isolate gravity and prove it's true.
Yeah, things only fall down. That's it. Well, I'm asking you why things don't fall up. All you're doing is citing, a bumblebee does something. These are all teeny tiny objects where electrostatics can overwhelm the effect of gravity. Why doesn't a rock fall up, or a person, or a car, or anything ever?
Let me ask this.
Because the pressure mediated by the density relationship and the weight makes it go down. It's pretty simple.
Okay. I feel like you both.
Those sure were words.
Okay, so.
Dude, that's a pretty bad look.
Well, hold on.
It is a bad look for you.
All right, hold on, gentlemen. What I want to say is that you both have been extremely well behaved and entertaining, and I want to let the viewers, of which there are many thousands, get in for a few minutes. But do I dare bring up Cavendish? Do I dare bring up, because that is a point of contention, right? Of that matter attracts matter, right? That disproves gravity, right? Like I'm a very large fat man, very attractive young, but not young. Why did I say young? That's creepy. Very attractive thin women are often attracted to me. But the let's actually not go down that. Let's not go down that road. It's probably too complicated. I want to let people.
Yeah, because everything's electrostatic. It's way stronger than gravity.
No, Jeremy, no, the courting.
I love
It's just weird, bro. You're just weird. Look at him. Look at him like grabbing his neck. He's like, oh my God, why did I say that? I look so weird now. Look at that. His like tongue is sticking out. What is going on right now, bro? He's like having this like masochist like experience right now. What a weirdo.
I'm dying. Oh man.
Him to be.
Yeah, but they shield for electrostatic.
If you have a lot of questions like that, it's like, you know, we can have a conversation in the future, man, whether it's streamed or not.
It's maybe down the rabbit hole too far.
I just want to, like, this is the only thing that I really want to know, Dave, before we move on, bro. Like,
all right, go ahead.
You said you didn't think the numbers were correct, whatever, you dismissed it. Then you said maybe there's some type of atmospheric effect. Do you agree, though, that refraction is the bending of light, which means that a silhouette can't be refracted because it is the absence of light?
What?
Can a silhouette be refracted?
If you're seeing something, there's light traveling to your eyes. So
sure, but the mountains,
there.
The mountain should be below the curve of the earth, right? But we're seeing the silhouette once it gets backlit, which means you need a line of sight to the physical object blocking the light.
I don't know, man.
So we
you're doing. Oh, I saw a thing. Therefore, everything we know about physics and science in general is wrong. It's just not going to fly.
Dave concedes defeat. You heard it here first.
Okay,
He conceded the Earth is flat. Everybody knows now. Dave conceded.
It's so easy to go against flat earthers. Just dismiss all the uncomfortable evidence and ask about.
It's not uncomfortable evidence. You just make up bullshit.
Like just ask about random things that we were taught when we were 5. Like, well, then how does this work? And like, whatever.
What's up, bro?
Look at that picture of Professor Dave. He looks so weird. Look at that. Look at that smug, the little picture where his name is Professor Dave Explains.
Yeah, right.
That's so weird. That's like the worst picture ever.
He's Elvis too. Look over there. He's like, Abe. Yeah.
I ask very simple things like why does the night sky rotate in opposite directions in opposite hemispheres? You have yet to answer that. You have
answered it directly.
Okay, go ahead. Repeat
that. If you look a different way, it'll rotate a different way.
I said first of all, you have to verify cardinal direction, which when we go to the south, we actually use immense magnetic declination corrections, which could be skewing where you think you're viewing. That's just a
celestial pole.
Just a fact.
Looking at the celestial pole with your eyeball.
Let him finish.
Just a fact.
Yeah, and then scalping. It's just word salad. He's just saying words to deflect.
Dude, stop using the term word salad. You don't know what it means.
It means you're just saying words that aren't saying anything, which is what you're doing. That's what it means, and that's what you do. Right?
But you can never give specific examples of when I did it.
Just now, what you just did. I'm asking.
I said that magnetic declination.
What does that have to do with
in the south? What?
What does it have to do with what I'm asking you?
You have to determine your cardinal direction, and then the second part is because magnetic declination corrections are immense in the south.
You're confused
that
about
makes
what
it very difficult to verify cardinal direction.
Thing. I'm asking about rotating counterclockwise versus clockwise. You have yet to answer that.
He's going
okay. You need to determine.
Just so the viewers know. Hold on. You guys are both being really great, by the way. Like you're being very respectful, and I appreciate that. Dave, I believe, is going back to his literal.
The first thing I said.
The very first thing he said. Yeah, the globe.
This is all recorded. I tried to answer it the first time he asked it. He interrupted 7 times. I've answered it 3 times.
If I look in a different direction, it'll magically spin the other way. That's not how things work. If you put a clock on the ceiling, it's going to go clockwise no matter which way you face. Sorry, buddy.
I said that we see, this does require usually some visualizations to understand it. We see in a little dome. It's called an azimuthal grid. You can go to Stellarium. That's how we map the stars. We have a zenith position, an azimuth position, and we measure elevation angles. When you do that 360, it gives you a dome. That's how we view the sky. NASA themselves have articles talking about how we see the sky to be a dome. We have an equidistant limit of vision. It's like a little dome. If you were to replicate that with a bunch of spinning stars and you looked looked out towards the edge of this dome, it's going to make them look like they're converging and spinning around the central point, even though they're literally not doing that. We have replicated
How does
it.
it spin the
Therefore,
other way
we
in the
would
other
expect to see it just like crepuscular and anti-crepuscular rays. When the sun's setting in the west, it'll look like it's in the east at the same time, and the rays will converge to a point, even though it's just based on perspective.
Okay.
That isn't objectively a viable answer for the star
It
troughs.
is not a viable answer. You're just saying words like crepuscular and perspective to appease flat earthers who have no idea what you're talking about, because you cannot answer how things rotate counterclockwise in one hemisphere and clockwise in the other.
You know what
Which, once
anti-crepuscular
again,
rays
is
are?
explained perfectly by this model. It turns.
You know what
this way,
anti-crepuscular rays
and
are?
well, what? Tell me what they are. Go ahead.
So you called it word salad, but it's just that you don't understand the terms.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter,
so-
but you're just taking it's a jumble of words. It's not that each word doesn't mean something. It's not just literal gibberish and syllables. You're taking words that are words and putting them together to make a salad, like your lettuce and your croutons and your things like that. That's why I tell you of yum yum word salad. You cannot explain what is can you concede that this makes perfect sense visually, intuitively, just spatially? Can you at least concede that this makes more sense than what you're saying?
No. I mean, I will say that if it is exactly south, yeah, of course, that's what the globe predicts. But we made the globe model.
You're admitting that the globe Earth explanation for the way we see stars moving in the sky makes more sense than everything you just said using random buzzwords that you.
No, I didn't say that. But this is the point I want to make here too. Look, Dave had to deny that the default position is that the Earth's a stationary plane.
It's not the default.
That is a
position.
fact. That is literally a fact. So
that's just a thing you say.
Wait. Whenever we fly a plane, do we treat the Earth like it's flat?
It doesn't matter. We're just flying. We're not talking about the shape of the Earth.
Hold on.
We're just traveling.
If
it's a default.
If that's true, hold on, Austin. If that's true, as the debunkers point out, when you fly on the southern hemisphere, or why do planes take direct routes as opposed to following the flat Earth map? Because it takes the same time to fly from Australia. I think that what is the example you used, Dave?
Sydney to Santiago over the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Let's do this one because we didn't get to it.
It's always obfuscation away from the point that the actual physical flying of the plane requires a flat stationary.
So he asked the question. I was going with him.
I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny.
All right.
Okay, I know all the debunks. They're not debunks, or I wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now.
They are. You can't explain.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and explain it. So if you say you fly from Sydney to Santiago, one direction actually takes significantly longer than the other return flight.
How much?
Then
it doesn't, though. It doesn't.
It objectively does.
Have headwinds back way. It's like 30 minutes. That's all.
No, there are flights that are up to 3 hour difference. Okay, that's a fact.
Look it up.
Now, everyone can verify everything I'm saying, and you can go to 24-hour flight radar and look at the data. You can go to 24-hour flight radar, look at the data. What you'll see is it says the plane's going, say, 550 miles per hour, right? On the globe, obviously, you just have a similar distance both ways. But if the time is different, they're obviously not going the same speed. So what that proves, right, because speed equals distance over time. So what that proves is that the data we're being given about how fast that plane goes is wrong. You can Google plane goes 800 miles per hour, and there will be articles talking about planes catching jet streams.
You're going to need 1,000 miles an hour.
Okay, but planes can't. No, you don't.
Sure
it's ridiculous. You guys.
That distance is like triple or quadruple the distance that makes sense for the amount of time it takes. So are you going to pretend that there's some that crazy wind or personal tornado that makes it fly quadruple the speed to get it over there? And also, why doesn't it go the route that makes sense on the flat Earth? Why doesn't it go that way?
Okay, first, if you assume the Earth's a globe with a projection, that doesn't prove the Earth's a globe, and it doesn't. So you're asking me, are the pilots in on it? No, the pilots aren't in on it. I know tons of flat Earth pilots. They thought the Earth was a globe. Most of their
flat Earth pilots. That's a lie.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. You have to lie about stuff like that,
You're
dude.
the one lying. There's no flat Earth pilots. Ask any pilot if the Earth is flat. They'll laugh.
I was just saying he's a liar.
Is this a good time?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, you're gonna pull up your.
You're calling him a liar, just like Biden did last night. It's ridiculous. Oh, you're lying. There is no flat Earth. Like who the hell are you to call him a liar, and you don't even know? You don't even know the guy.
Yeah.
doing it just for
hey, bro, I'm just saying, let's not get into the stuff because they'll be like misinformation because you said that Joe Biden was lying, calling
right.
Trump a liar, and he was correct. You know. Anyways, no, it's all good. Okay,
Yeah,
let's.
Austin was right. He's doing it just for views. He's doing it just to pump up his YouTube channel.
You can let me know if it.
Yep. Nope. We got it. Oh wait. Do we got it? No, it's not showing it. Oh, I need to pull it over here. Wait, why is it over there? Oh, it's because it's sharing that. Okay, let's move this.
Which one do we have to watch?
Just 1 second. Nope, that's not the right one. Is it showing? I got to... how do I do this? What the heck? Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out... Why isn't it showing this thing? Oh! Bro! Oh my god.
Yeah.
Frankie B, bro. That was so loud and horrible.
What?
Whatever you just did, you just just stop moving whatever you're moving.
I think it's.
In on it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's right now.
It's ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
In on it. No, the pilots aren't in on it. I know tons of flat Earth pilots. They weren't. They thought the Earth was a globe. Most of their
flat Earth pilots. That's a lie.
Oh, man. It's flat. This is flat. Thank you very much, mate. God bless.
A man asked the pilot if the Earth is flat.
Can I talk to the pilot, please? Right here. You're the pilot? Hi. How long have you been flying for?
For Delta, 21 years, but maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And when you tell people that, do they think you're like crazy or no?
Only one person.
Only one person?
They built it for a flat, stationary Earth, and my goal is for some young fighter pilot to listen to what I just said, go out tomorrow and set the bottom of your L strobe on your altitude, run it out there to 80 miles, and that bottom altitude on your cursor will stay the same.
Are you a pilot?
Yes, sir.
One question.
Okay.
When you descend in the air,
Yeah.
do you dip or do you go straight?
It's straight.
Straight?
A little more with the nose out. That's it.
But straight. You don't dip
yeah.
into the...
No.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome, sir. All
Have a great day.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
Curvature? No.
No, there's no curvature?
It's just all flat.
Pilots, is the Earth flat or round? Flat. Thanks. I'm with you.
Do you have any idea how dumb you sound?
Pregunta controversial. Hay un debate ahora en YouTube especialmente en el que las personas se cuestionan que si la curvatura de la Tierra es observable o no es observable. No, a las alturas que vuelan esos aviones, usted no va haciendo ningún ajuste, va como si fuera parejito, sobre terreno. No, pero sí tiene unos 2 grados más alto que normal, depende de lo que hace el avión. Ok, la nariz va hacia arriba, ¿sí? Pero no tienen que buscar la curvatura, no vuelan como si fuera sobre un plano. Sí, es lo que trata de hacer el avión. Bueno, muchas gracias. Mucho gusto. Hasta luego.
Because they're telling us, that at least in the U.S., the ground's moving at about 700 miles an hour left to right. And I was thinking that's kind of odd if you're landing, going north, or moving.
Pause that for a second.
The ground looks to us like it's standing still.
Yeah, not an issue, huh?
Yeah, no. You could probably see the Rockies from
You there, Kyle?
Kansas.
Wow.
But it's a clear day, but it's smoky or hazy.
Will you pause it for a second? I was just going to say real quick, for those that didn't notice, he said they point the nose up 2 degrees.
Yeah,
now,
2 to 3 degrees.
And we've literally talked about, like if you're going on a straight line and you're off 2 to 3 degrees, right? What that's actually going to change to your course. So they're going up, and then if the Earth was dipping down, That exponential growth would put them in orbit, wouldn't it? Oh, but it's gravity. It's gravity.
Or they spin like backwards, where it doesn't make sense to fall with your nose upward around a curve that goes downwards.
Yeah, it's so stupid. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Obviously, you can't see.
Excuse me, guys. Hey. I have a question for you.
Yeah. One of us can answer it.
You guys adjust for curvature as you're flying through the air. You know, the Earth's supposed to be a ball, right?
Yeah.
So should we be dipping down the nose of the plane to compensate for the curvature, or do you guys just, or do you fly on over a flat plane?
Well, we're about a millimeter over a bowling ball. We're not that high.
8 inches per mile squared is the official story of what the curvature drop should be. So a distance that far, if you're 8 inches from the shore on a beach, and your friend is rowing his boat out 1 mile away, the boat should be already hidden by the curvature. You guys don't see curve, you see horizon or
Really,
eye level.
no, I mean, if you look at more of this curvature here, we're on the perpendicular, we're just on that tangent.
So
and
really,
that never changes.
Earth's flat.
Sorry?
Earth is flat.
Yeah, well, we know that. We've seen it every day.
Flat and stationary.
Exactly. Everybody else.
Well, you know that. You guys see the horizon at eye level, and you have to understand that if you're on a ball, as you rise from the ball, you would have to look down to see the horizon.
Yeah.
You don't ever see that. I look out the window of the plane, and I see horizon as far as I can see, flat.
Looks different from the front.
Even from there. Your windows aren't that much different.
Bigger.
Earth is flat. It's a big lie. You guys should look into it. You know it's flat. You guys fly over it every day.
We're not looking to tell anybody.
I know.
I know.
They all take
multiple.
great circle routes. They take great circle routes that are.
Can a circle exist on a flat Earth?
My wife is a pilot.
No, a great circle.
Does anybody want to talk to me? My wife's a pilot. Well,
see, this is what I'm saying. You have to lie about stuff like that.
You're
dude.
the one
It's
lying.
so
There's
weird.
no flat Earth pilots. Ask any pilot if the Earth is flat. They'll laugh in your face.
Do you say Earth is flat?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Whenever you fly your plane, do you ever account for a curvature? No. Do you ever account for Coriolis or Earth spin? No. Do you ever see the Earth curving? No. Does water find its level? Yes. Does it always find its level? Yes. Okay, so water always finds its level. Does water conform to its container? Yes.
Y luego, además, aquí aparece como si fuera, no sé cómo le llamamos a esto, un anexo, un añadido, algo que se cose.
Sí, exactamente, un parchecito, que me recuerda a una persona muy especial. Plana y estacionaria, ¿se ve?
¿Plana? Sí. ¿Y no tiene algo de achatamiento? ¿No se ve no? Eso cuando ya nos vamos a la órbita, ¿no?
La curvatura se ve cuando la cámara es de ojo de pez, como la que llevaba el que se tiró de Red Bull. Sí. Ahí sí que ves la curvatura, pero si la cámara es una cámara normal, se ve todo recto. Normalmente volamos a lo máximo, el techo del avión es 41.000 pies, que son 12 kilómetros, 800 metros o algo así. Sí. Pero normalmente volamos a 35, 37, que son
no se ve
10...
La curvatura.
No, hombre, no, según... a ver, yo he volado con el Lear a 47.000 pies, con el Lear, el jet privado, que son unos 13 kilómetros, 600 o algo así, y tampoco.
Did you notice any curvature while we were up there?
No.
No? What did you see while we were up there?
This is the blue sky, white clouds.
Yeah, is it flat or?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Captain, someone wants to say hi, is that okay?
Oh.
Do you adjust for curvature when you get up to a certain altitude?
Well, yeah, when you see the sun coming up on the horizon, then hook you up.
But the plane stays at an even pitch throughout the whole flight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not too much curvature to count for.
No.
More flat than anything.
Nope, you close your eyes, you won't have a clue.
True. More flat than anything?
What was that?
It's more flat than anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Flat or a ball? Flat. What's a ball?
I think it's flat.
Yeah, me too. It certainly does, doesn't it? And you've got that flat in...
Excuse me, do you mind?
Hey, how you doing?
Very well, how are you?
Good.
So you know how we just took a flight of descent?
Yeah.
Did you have to compensate for curvature?
Yeah.
So did you just have to compensate for curvature due to the flight of descent as we landed just now?
No, not necessarily. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
You bet.
So the pilot just told me that the Earth is flat.
Hey, I just want to say thanks for the smooth flight. Alright. I just have one question. Is there like a specific angle of downward tilt you have to fly at? 3 degrees. 3 degrees for the curvature of the Earth? Oh, for the Earth? Because, yeah, we just fly over the troposphere. Really? But do you have to keep like kind of going down because?
No, they actually have to nose up. And they twice. Yeah.
Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it?
This one?
I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. True.
It's true?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
All right.
God bless, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
I'm a fellow, Casey Josh, I'm a fellow just PPL pilot here.
Yeah, nice.
I've got a couple of serious questions to ask you.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there's a big time. Curvature.
Curvature?
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't allow for curvature, do we?
For anything, not you usually.
No, we're round, we're a disc, aren't we? Round and flat.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, look, honestly, quite seriously,
Yeah.
we are, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how dumb you sound?
Okay, that's it.
Oh, nice. Good collection there. Thanks for making that and sharing that with us. I know you're working on uploading it, but GrabblerTube is GrabblerTube. So, sweet. All right, let's get through this. We've been chugging along pretty good, so hope y'all are enjoying it. I've been seeing it go between 15 and 20, so hopefully those people have got to go do something and they'll come back. But good to see you all still away in chat. I hope y'all are doing well. We got Morgan from Wildly Unpopular in the chat. Welcome, sister. Hope you are doing well. I don't know if you caught this live, but Dave is very much a comedian too. He likes to he makes me laugh. So and I love watching Wits It Gets It. Kind of put him in his place. But yeah, let's keep chugging.
Your face.
I know
They all take great
multiple.
circle routes. They take great circle routes that are.
Can a
based
circle
on
exist on a flat Earth?
My wife is a pilot.
No, a great
My wife-
circle.
Does anybody want to talk to me? My wife's a pilot.
Yeah.
What does she think? Bring her in.
She does.
Dude, I have an Air Force pilot that reached out to me of 30 years. That's a flat Earth.
Cool. That's true. Totally.
I don't want to.
See what I'm saying? You have to deny basic reality.
Why is it so crazy to think that you could be making that up on the spot?
But what I'm saying,
Hold on a second. Either I let these guys go at it for 10 more minutes, or we answer viewer questions.
I feel like we've gone good time.
I feel like we're there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're there.
I
So
got
I
stuff
want
to
to pick
do.
a few of these. I'll stick around live for a few minutes after I let these guys go. I want to just like give a digital. I mean, I don't care what side you're on. Thank you both for being here and for being so passionate and being so engaged and being just great. Obviously people are going to think, whatever they want to think, but I hope people are entertained. There are many, not many tens of thousands, but there's over, 15,000 people watching. So a lot of people are entertained on a Saturday night, and they could have been watching some garbage. So this is obviously much better. I will read them all after I let these gentlemen get on with their Saturday nights, but I wanted to pick some that I thought.
Can we do like a 60-second closing or something at some point?
Absolutely. I'll do a 2-minute, and then because you guys should we coin flip for who goes last? It's like a criminal trial, right? So generally the prosecution goes last. But I'll just say
I'm indifferent.
Okay. Well, then we'll let Dave go first. Someone says, make Dave define one thing in detail that Austin has said is word salad. Well, he did that. I think he did do that.
Okay, I'm actually going to skip this. I'm not going to go through all the questions. I'm going to skip to the closing, and then we'll look at that other last part. So let me go through this real quick.
And they show different elements falling at different.
We can relative.
We see the sky and assume the Earth is therefore in the center of the universe. All observations ever showed that. The globe claims to mock and ridicule. A lot of these things are. We see the sky.
Leading in, we'll let Austin go first, leading out. But I want you both guys to know I'll have you back on any time you want. This was a blast for me. I know that chat. I know they enjoyed it. Obviously, both of you hope to educate people, but for me, I'm a loser entertainer, and I know everyone was entertained. So if everyone had a good time, please support whoever side you want. And I will read
I just want to point this out real quick because I actually mentioned this in the live chat, and then all of a sudden it was gone. Do y'all remember what I brought up in the very beginning? Maybe those that have been here since the very chat, but with Quarterling, with Jeremy, I pointed out something in particular that was in his camera. Do y'all remember what that was? What I was talking about, or what I pointed out? Yeah, look, dude, he removed it. Isn't that kind of weird? So at some point, he literally went and grabbed it and took it off. Isn't that kind of weird?
It was a little strange.
What are you talking about?
She's playing with it.
Okay, look. Okay, Frankie B. Look right. Oh, I have to do it here. Look right here. Okay, I'm going to skip back real quick to the beginning. Let me get the time of where we're at. So 1:42. But I'm going to skip back here to the beginning and look in that same place. You have the moon. And it's like doing this rotation on this, whatever this device is, however that's working. Whether it's internal or external, I'm not 100% sure. But this, if you watch this, this rotates, and it's the moon.
Fun.
And I literally said something in chat live in this, and then when we get over here, it is gone. It is removed. You're weird, Jeremy. You're weird.
I know that chat. I know they enjoyed it. Obviously, both of you hope to educate people, but for me, I'm a loser entertainer, and I know everyone was entertained. So if everyone had a good, okay.
Spinning globe, sure. Whenever you point at the sky and say, look, it matches the globe, it's very ignorant because we made the globe model from the sky. We took observations and reverse engineered the way that we see the sky and assumed the Earth's a sphere. Of course it matches. That's how we made it. And it didn't match for hundreds of years. It had to constantly be updated, still being updated. Relativity is the most verified theory ever. Isn't true at all. 1933, Fritz Zwicky saw the galaxy cluster only had 1% of the mass it needed to actually keep the galaxies from escaping. That means it was missing 99% mass. That's called dark matter. It was originally called missing mass. It's still a major problem. Relativity can't even predict things on the quantum, local, or cosmological scale. It's been falsified with things such as anisotropic light propagation, meaning light's actually a variant, it changes, etc. So a lot of these things are a bit more complex. I encourage people to go actually look at my channel or Ether Cosmology and listen to us break down Einstein's papers, and you can hear him say it. Look at the tests that falsify this stuff. But this is the part that's very important. Falsifications independent of replacement. We were all told that the Earth's a spinning globe. It's very easy to mock and ridicule people that are much more informed to diligently research and actually go out and do tests in real life than actually look into it for yourself. I get it. But just calling them names, appealing to consensus or whatever, doesn't matter. This is a crazy conversation. And actually what we have proven for step one is that the Earth is stationary, and that's been done with interferometry. And so even Einstein admitted that if the interferometry measurements were correct, that his entire theory is wrong and the Earth is stationary, effectively being the implication. We have verified that the interferometry changes with altitude, periodicity, etc. Long story short, it has been proven that the Earth is stationary. It is therefore in the center of the universe. All observations ever showed that. The globe claims everything is actually an illusion. It just looks like the Earth's in the center. It looks like the Earth is flat, but it's really not. Everything is just an illusion. So I encourage you to inform yourself about it because, you can't really be confident in your position until you actually know what your position is. And the vast majority of people don't even understand the globe model. So they actually don't know what they believe in. So that's really the only reason I do this, is to encourage people to at least inform themselves about what they believe before they're so confident in it.
Thanks, Austin. Thanks so much, dude. Dave, lead us out. I'll stay on live after Dave's final here, but yeah, thank you both for coming on.
Cool. No, he's absolutely wrong. The default position is that the Earth is a sphere, and as predicted, he chose to obfuscate by going to relativity and Einstein and all these things, which are not helpful. Since antiquity, we've known that the Earth is a sphere. All observations demand that the Earth is a sphere. He was absolutely incapable of answering this. He just did a thing about, oh, if you look in a different direction, it's going to spin the other way. Doesn't make any sense. Was totally unable to explain this. Utilize magnetic declination. Again, these positions are nowhere near the magnetic pole, and so the idea that they could just suddenly all be looking in the same direction because magnetic declination. I'm sorry, David Weiss. I'm sorry, Austin. This is not sufficient explanation. Day and night regions of illumination. All we got was a little toddler, shine a light on a thing where there's supposed to be a dome, even though there's not actually any dome, and the sun's going to be outside, or is it going to be inside? Doesn't make any sense either. South Pole, come back to that again, day and night. Southern Hemisphere, we did not get to any adequate explanation of how this route is possible. He just said, oh, they go really fast. I don't remember what he said, some wind or something. And we definitely have absolutely no explanation for this Antarctica Cup ocean race. These boats are not going all the way the entire world, turning the opposite direction of where they are actually turning. So I think that was pretty fun. I think we managed to stay away for the most part from the esoteric aspects of modern physics that Austin likes to spew his word salads about, and we stuck for the most part to things like gravity and things falling. So it was somewhat productive, but I do look forward to Austin going to the South Pole.
Hell yeah. I'll go with you, bud.
Seeing
I'm
the
built for it.
24-hour sun, and then I can't wait to see his video saying, I now believe it's a sphere, and then we can be rid of this idiotic flat earth disease forever, hopefully. Maybe in 1,000 years it'll come back somehow. I don't know.
Gentlemen, you both killed it. You're both incredibly entertaining and very respectful and well prepared. And I want to thank you for coming on. And I want to remind everyone in chat, please do, I don't care whose quote unquote side you picked. Check out both of their channels. Both are linked in the description. I think it's good to take in both sides of whatever conversation is going on. Fellas, thank you so much for coming on. I will wrap it up with chat here too, and follow and let them know what's going on. You obviously can reach out to me anytime. Use this content how you see fit, and have an incredible weekend.
Okay, so he did the poll. And that's all we're going to talk about. I already showed you that he hit his little globe relic. Let's
currently sits at, with 1,000 votes, 61% of people have been converted to the flat earth. 61% of people in the YouTube poll have been converted to flat earth, when it was like 65-35 in favor of sphere earth earlier. So, I mean, did flat earth win?
Clearly.
I think I'm just catching up. I want to give everyone, because if people super chatted, that matters.
Look at that self-soothing behavior, him like rubbing his neck and like, bringing in his shoulders. It's so weird. All right, sweet. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's like, don't mention young girls again. Don't mention young girls.
Yeah, that was so weird. So many weird things about this character. Okay, wait. All right, let's go ahead and stop streaming that. Looks like we lost Frankie B, brother. Hope you have a good rest day tomorrow, and as always, good seeing you. But yeah, let's kind of give our thoughts, our closing thoughts, and we'll call it a stream. Oh, it looks like my camera is having a little issue. It's really weird, like it's showing that it's off to turn it on. Actually, I think I need to do this. Give me 1 second, everybody. And switch that, and then we'll go close this. Come back over here. Oh, wait. Frankie is here. Oh, did he come back, or has he always been here?
Yeah, no, my computer dropped out.
Oh, okay. Now my camera won't work. It's kind of weird. Let's stop. Preview camera. Yeah. I even unplugged my camera and plugged it back in. See if this comes on.
Yeah, my Discord just dropped.
Yeah, it's weird. Now my camera is not coming up. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna do this whole like finish out the show. Okay, so anyway, so or I'll let you go first, Frankie, since you're up there first, and maybe I'll come back up. But what are your kind of closing thoughts about the debate we just watched? Can you hear me?
Yeah, who you asked, me or Kyle?
Frankie B.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he was very pompous. Yeah, he was very pompous, very absolute. Yeah, I just feel like he's doing it for views for his channel. Like Austin called him out and said, "You're getting monetized, and you're just staying with it." I think that's what a lot of these guys are doing. They're view money driven. You there, Vader?
Yep. Keep going, bro.
Yeah. They're just money driven, and they're condescending. They literally bring nothing to the table. It was funny how Austin couldn't believe he couldn't understand the words he was saying, and now they're just throwing in the word salad just to belittle him and belittle us. It's sad, really is. What people will do for money.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts about it.
Yeah, yeah, you're totally right.
66% of his chat voted for flat Earth, so that's a win.
Yeah,
that dude said he had 16,000 viewers too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like good for him, man. Like, I don't watch his content, so I don't really know what he's about. But some of the kind of things he said is weird. But maybe people like that weird qualities. I have no idea. I'm gonna bring it back to camera. Oh, finally, there it goes. Okay, here. Awesome. I was able to fix it. So sweet. All right. Kyle, what's your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I didn't hear any argument that I didn't hear in 2015 when I first started looking into this. So it's really amazing to know nothing's changed since then, and there's been no adaptations to the model to counter anything we've come across. It's just the same 10 flat Earth debunked proofs parroted over in different ways. And, it's pretty sad. People think they have to go to Antarctica to prove the shape that's under them, but, I guess if people don't want to, look with their own eyes to prove what they're on, then that's on them.
So the final count for Dave was 257. So he takes the crown now for the most self projections within the debate. Though I'm sure someone else will take that crown from him. I thought Austin did well in this debate. I think he didn't do word salad, and I think he did use some kind of more complex ideas, but he always buffered that with, "Hey, go Google that. Go what I just said. Go Google it. Look into it." And that's another piece of evidence I believe is for our side, or at least makes it questionable. So. I thought it was a good debate. I think, like most people who are heliocentric, they have that arrogance about them, and of course they do, because they have all of so-called science backing them, right? So all they have to do is repeat what other people say. They don't have to have critical thinking skills. They don't need to have any intellect themselves to even understand what they're saying. They just need to be able to regurgitate those words from a Wikipedia page, and boom, they win in their mind. So, obviously we think that's preposterous, and Dave was very laughable, and he's a comedian just like McToon and the rest of them. So, sweet. I hope y'all enjoyed it, guys. Thanks, Frankie B. Thank you, Kyle, 8th Year Old Creations, for being here. It's always good to talk to y'all. And
you want to give a plug for tomorrow night's show? What's tomorrow night's show?
We will talk. That will be all posted tomorrow, so I'm not giving that away just yet. If you haven't seen my new little comedy bit, go to the YouTube, check it out. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to Wit to Gets It, check him out. He has great content, great live streams. Definitely show him love. Sweet. All right, and
later. Can you pin that video in the comments so that
if you go, oh yeah,
I can put it into the comments.
I'll pin it into the comments, but I'll also, I can't do that right now, but I do need to bring up.
I mean, you can do it at a later time.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, everybody. Until next time, tomorrow we'll have a stream 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll announce more of that tomorrow. But yeah, until next time, remember the ABBA Love You First. And our outro is always Dig Deep by Born Out of Time, Frankie B, and Nick Infinity. So everybody have a good night. See y'all in the morning. So not in the morning. Seeing y'all in the mañana. So, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Shalom.
Shalom.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out. Dig deep, search it out. Dig deep, seek it out. Dig deep, go on and walk it out. Dig deep, I give you oil to fill up your